shining so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch, you Dracula. Southern draw vernacular, flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this world up on my scapula. I've been on the road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, bitch, I don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest car. Look, okay, grew up running post routes. Now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber, that boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy, I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side, jigging since the knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respecting no Aretha. Crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy, my shit hair wrong, black, rich, and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form, you cannot prepare for him. When I swing, it's like a carnivore, this shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit. You niggas need chapstick. Shit been dry for way too long, and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me, I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in front of me. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters the fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's. Food, no cap and gowns, but we all had the master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said that I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Backwards in the air, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy. Even my masseuse can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next, soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex, I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lesson. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me run play, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit zip codes. Well connected with the streets, like we out in Skid Row.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all come here to share, subscribe as well. Hit that Cash App, $SlickRick1990 is our Cash App, $SlickRick1990 is our Cash App. If you guys do not have Cash App, that's perfectly fine. Make sure you guys go into our super stickers and super comments are very, very available. It's very simple. All you got to do is hit that $symbol that says thanks into the chat box. Y'all can donate that way for y'all own discretion. You know what I'm saying? Continuously sow into the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast for all this great content that we drop to you on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. Let's get it popping. For everybody that's in the comment section, everybody that's in the chat, make sure you guys let me know that y'all in here. Make sure you guys like the video. If you guys do not donate, make sure you guys subscribe. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure that you watch and you listen and you take in a lot of stuff that I'm about to, expound on if y'all haven't already. And last but not least, if you guys would like to join the panel, please don't hesitate to do so. But let's go into some of the comments. Like I said, starting yesterday, I'm going to be going in on the Clippers, speaking on a lot of different topics after that embarrassing, and I mean embarrassing loss on Saturday afternoon to the Denver Nuggets, which ended the Clippers season in dramatic fashion. A lot of people were not looking at the Clippers to have their season ended shorted so soon, but because of the guy on the screen, and I'm talking about the one that dunked the ball, he was part of the reason why the Clippers went home early in embarrassing fashion, which I will be touching on, this probably in another video this week about how, well, I touched on it yesterday, but it's going to go into today's video. I'm sorry. Just off some of the stuff that the Clippers have been, mishandling, misdoing, and, valuing other players over other players when they shouldn't have had to, and they made mistakes they have to clean up themselves up for. Let's go into the chat box real quick, shall we? V World says, "Sup, BJ? Hope we could all make the real team get a real coach and a GM for next season. Fire Lou, fire Ty Lue, and fire GM. Hashtag appreciate you, V World." He said, Jermaine said James Harden is a playoff choker. Nothing needs to be said. More needs to be said. He also says 8 field goal attempts in the game 7. I ain't seen you over here in a long time. It's funny you popped up out of nowhere, Jermaine. But I appreciate the comment. 16 people. Let's get these likes over 16 likes, y'all. All right. Now that the dust is settled, a day after, 24 hours after the season ended, now that, some of the talking points have, been said, we had our show yesterday, such this, that, and the other, blase. We can kind of get a little bit deeper into our thoughts. I think people are starting to think a little bit more about stuff that's happened this year, not just this year, but years prior, because the title we're about to talk about right now is gearing towards exactly that. Salute to my man, Old Man. He said, if we keep Frank and then Lou, especially Lou, we don't want to be better. And speaking of which, we're going to get right into that because I have a lot of questions. So for guys who do not know, Lawrence Frank had his exit interview remotely today. And Lawrence Frank spoke a lot on what the future of the Clippers may entail. He spoke upon, some of the stuff that they're going to be valuing, quote unquote, this upcoming season. Basically, everything in a nutshell that we got to actually talk about. Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Give me like 2 seconds, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. All right, sorry about that. I had to handle something. But where was I at? All right. So Lawrence Frank had his press conference today, exit interview. I was not in attendance because, of course, it was remotely. So Lawrence Frank had his exit interview, which I don't believe any of the players had an exit interview. And just off a lot of stuff that I'm starting to see with the Clippers, actually the last few years have been confirmed that I do not really care for what they're, doing. And they're letting a lot of stuff just pretty much slide and, dare I say a little bit be unprofessional. But Lawrence Frank had his exit interview today, was remotely, and he spoke about all the stuff that transpired this season, what's to come this upcoming season, the temperature of the team right now, yada yada yada. Lawrence Frank held that exit interview today. So I want to kind of go through a little bit of some of the stuff that he said, as well as the title of the live that Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue need to be replaced. I didn't want to be too vulgar and say they need to be fired to get the hell up out of here, but y'all get my drift to where I stand about this Ty Lue ordeal, that both of them have ran their time up in LA, and I don't think people should be, thinking twice about it. But obviously they held a press conference today, and I want y'all to kind of see what Lawrence Frank had to say. So first, I want to give a shout out to my man Joey Lynn, Clippers beat writer. He spoke about this. I'm going to use his tweets. He said, Lawrence Frank, it's a quote, said, "What happened in Game 7, that was extremely embarrassing and also uncharacteristic. We were disappointed with our playoff exit. Our players are embarrassed about Game 7. They're really upset we lost this series." So, revisiting Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, if y'all want to put it, Saturday evening, y'all want to put it, more precise and accurate. The Clippers season ended in embarrassing fashion at the hands of the Denver Nuggets in Denver. The Clippers looked at to be the favorites going into that game, not just the game, into the series. A lot of the different media pundits were picking the Clippers, surprisingly, after all the trash they've been talking about them over the last few years. Somehow the Clippers were something to be the favorites of this series, while they're the 5th seed. Nuggets were the 4th seed. The Clippers still had the upper hand, according to, the masses. Well, like anything, you got to still go out there and prove it, and the Clippers failed short. And Lawrence Frank, general manager, executive, president of basketball operations, spoke about the disappointment the Clippers had. And I'm pretty sure that not just the Clippers players, but no more disappointed than what the fans were. All 120 fans that flew out to Denver, right? So I wanted to bring that up, how the players are currently feeling right now. They're feeling very, very distraught, according to Lawrence Frank. Shout out to people in the chat box, 29 people. Let's get over 29 likes. Salute to everybody in the building. Free Papa TV said, "Hey, Clips, I think Westbrook left his shoes somewhere. Could you look? Can you look your up your ass?" That's a good one. I ain't gonna even lie. That's a good one. He said, "You look up your ass." Yeah, that's a good one. I ain't gonna even lie. The one and only Bo, my man Bo, said, "Yo, we need to fire both of them like Denver, because they're both messing up Lawrence Frank less than Ty Lue, but he's been trading away critical people and young players, and both led to our downfall." Appreciate it both for that comment. We're going to revisit this exact tweet or this exact comment here in a minute. So y'all just saying, sit tight. Jermaine said, "Russ outplayed James Harden. That was the difference maker, especially in Game 7. Well, I pointed that out yesterday, but I appreciate you coming to the party. Lewis, my man, looks like things from the Virgin Islands. He said, "Embarrassing." Yes, sir. Definitely embarrassing. Welcome to the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button. But Lawrence Frank speaking a little bit about how the Clippers are feeling after that loss, as well as the NBA, the Clipper fan base. Now, I want to go through a few of these other things that he said. But I want to bring up something about the Clippers as far as what Lawrence Frank touched on and what he's looking for this offseason to, quote unquote, build according to his plan and things of that nature. So these are the things that he called priority, of course, to what I'm looking at. He said the Game 7 embarrassing loss. He talked about the 50-win season. He talked about that, basically, highlighting that James Harden, Norman Powell, Visca Zubac on the top of that list, along with Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy as the coaching staff. He highlights that their best player only played 37 games this season, of course, referring to Kawhi Leonard. I believe that a full offseason will help Kawhi recover more of his athleticism. So, of course, Lawrence Frank spoke about Kawhi Leonard and his impact. He also spoke about James Harden, Kawhi moving forward. He says, "And would it be responsible of me if I didn't have a contingency plan if Harden opts out? But I haven't given any thought to Harden or Kawhi who has 2 years left on his deal, not being on the team next season. All right, so Lawrence Frank is banking on them to come back, but if they don't come back, Lawrence Frank is saying he has a contingency plan for the short future. Then he goes into the things that they need to improve on this offseason. As y'all come in here, smash that like button. He said the 4 things they need to, look for going into this upcoming season is improving their transition defense, defensive rebounding, taking care of the ball, and let Clippers down in critical stages. So basically, their clutch moments, execution. Those are the things that he feel like they need to improve on. He said Clippers players felt like they really were contenders once Kawhi reached a high level of play this season. While the team's focus this year overall was being competitive, I still think this group can be very, very good next season. So you're hearing what Lawrence Frank is his expectations for the Clippers to be very, very good. Right? And I'm gonna speak on that in a minute. I'm just reading down the bullet points of what this whole exit interview was about. He said Clippers will sit down with Norm's representation at some point this summer and discuss an extension and see what makes sense for both sides. So remember, we spoke on Norman Powell yesterday. We spoke on if Norman Powell should be moved to a different team, should he be resigned, yada, yada, yada. And according to Lawrence Frank, he's saying that they have open availability for Norman Powell to come back on an extension. You remember, Norman Powell has 1 more year. This is his last year of his contract, right? So they're looking to already extend him. Very similar to Viska Zubac, very similar to Terrence Mann, when they had 1 more year left on their deals and they extend them on their final. This is Norman Powell's last year of his deal. So they're looking to extend him. So that takes care of what Norman Powell is, especially what they're looking for him. And then Lawrence Frank speaks about the front court help, playmaking, and shooting are areas of need. All right. So that kind of puts things in perspective. When y'all hear all those different bullet points, I want y'all to let me know in the chat what y'all think about all these things and what part of Lawrence Frank saying all this y'all really catches y'all eye. Water X said they are still betting on James Harden. Doesn't feel like clean sheets when the playoff season comes. All right. So, again, let me know what y'all think in the comments about some of the most important areas that Lawrence Frank addressed in his exit interview. So, this is a little bit more directive and not as outline-ish as what we just saw. So another tweet from Joey Lynn says, Lawrence Frank says, we really feel good about our core and we expect to be really good again next season. Says the Clippers can be even better next season with more games from Kawhi. So I'm gonna say that again. Lawrence Frank said we feel we really could be good. We feel really good about our core, and we expect to be really good again next season. Says the Clippers can be even better next season with more games from Kawhi. So again, highlighting the fact the Clippers want to look like they want to run this back, and they feel like with Kawhi playing more games outside of 37 that they can be better, and that they could definitely extend their ceiling next season. Okay. So that's one tweet, right? Let's continue, keep going. Another tweet. Lawrence Frank reiterated that the Clippers under Steve Ballmer will never try to tank. They're attempting to field a competitive team every single year. So this is something that Lawrence Frank and Steve Ballmer both said. I remember specifically Steve Ballmer saying that the Clippers were always going to look to just retool. They're never looking to rebuild. So basically, they're looking to always keep a star or two at least. So all the people that keep saying that the Clippers need to start over, the Clippers need to go ahead and just get rid and clean house, they don't look like they're going to ever just clean house entirely by getting rid of their star players, because you need stars to fill up that brand new $1 billion playpen they call the Intuit Dome. So that is something to really pay attention to. The Clippers are never going just to completely start over. They're going to always have at least one star here. He said, man, he's crazy and just tells excuses. It gets worse from here. We got 54 people. Let's get over 54 likes. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about these tweets that Lawrence Frank is, coming out and reiterate. Because I'm going to go into my actual title that both Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue, their time is up and they need to be let go. And I'm going to go into specific reasons why. But I'm just getting out what Lawrence Frank said today at his exit interview. All right. So another thing, Lawrence Frank said he hasn't given any consideration that Kawhi Leonard and James Harden might not be on the team next season. Everything we wanted from James, we got that and then some. Now this right here really, really catches my eye, because Lawrence Frank is looking to bring back, of course, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. So it don't look like to me that they're going to look to move off of James Harden unless Lawrence Frank is lying and basically just saying that just to save face. I'm speaking upon, James Harden. I know how he feels about Kawhi Leonard. Basically, Kawhi Leonard ain't going nowhere because he's pretty much a partner. You remember Lawrence Frank said Kawhi Leonard and the point Paul George they weren't just players for the Clippers. They were partners. They were partners. Basically, it's more than just basketball to them. They look at Kawhi Leonard as a guy to fill up the seats, to build a profit back. You got to remember, Kawhi they just built that arena is worth over $2-3 billion, not million, billion. That money just didn't come out the sky. Somebody had to pay that. And the person that paid that was, of course, Mr. Steve Ballmer. $1 billion, you got to get your profit back. At the end of the day, profits must be made. That is the bottom line to all this. Hear me out. For all the fans that continuously say they want to build a team, they want to build this, understand, for Steve Ballmer, for the business to keep going, the money has to keep coming in. So what does that mean? What builds money? Ticket sales. How does he get his revenue back? Through ticket sales, through merchandise, through jersey sales, through food ventures, people attending the games. All these ingredients, all these factors in for Steve Ballmer making back the money that he spent and invested in the Intuit Dome. So I say that to say Kawhi Leonard is an important aspect because of what the Clippers invested into him. Ever since he came to the Clippers, they invested into Kawhi Leonard. So I don't see them getting rid of Kawhi Leonard unless Kawhi Leonard forces his way out of LA. So I think that should put things in perspective about Kawhi Leonard, that he's not going to be moved anywhere unless he does it himself. Same way he did San Antonio, same way he left Toronto. Neither one of those organizations wanted him to leave. No matter how many people in the fan base continuously spoke about his injury history in San Antonio, right? Greg Popovich comes back, and you can hear this from a quote. that getting rid of Kawhi Leonard was the biggest mistake he ever did. Allowing Kawhi Leonard to get away was the biggest mistake, the biggest regret he ever had in his coaching career. Right? The Clippers don't want to suffer the same fate. That's why they've waited over a bunch of years to make sure this guy is healthy. Now, the bright spot of all this is that Kawhi Leonard looks like he's finally healthy again for a season. He's completed a playoff series. So that's the bright spot of all this. Now, the mental baggage off of his mind is somewhat withered away because he's finally able to complete a full season. So now the Clippers, they're not going to let go of something that they've been waiting so long for. Now, James Harden, I don't know what the hell Lawrence Frank is talking about, that he's done everything and then some. See, if you say James Harden, if you just want to say James Harden's a regular season player, fine. But you can't say he's a regular season player and say that we're going to be very good next year. Are you talking about very good in the season or very good in the playoffs? Like, what are you trying to accomplish next year? What are you trying to accomplish through this whole experiment? Are you trying to win a championship? Are you trying to be competitive? Are you just trying to barely make it? Are you trying to be an exciting team? Are you trying to be a profitable team? What are you trying to do? What is the plan? Since you say that you have a contingency plan if all fails apart? Because Lawrence Frank comes off to me as a guy like he did this past offseason who says everything right and says, we'll figure it out when we get there. And once you get there and you don't expect something to happen, something hits you upside the head, then you're in scramble mode. That's what it comes off to me, Lawrence Frank, how he operates. He continuously does the same thing year in and year out over and over and over until somebody makes him change his mind and circumstances change. I mean, he didn't even wait more than 48 hours to say what he said. And that was a loss that was, like he said, very embarrassing. Usually when you have an embarrassing loss like that, in those circumstances, you're not just saying, oh, let's just go ahead and run it back. Let's go score and do it again. Unless your mind was already fixated to do it from the start, win or lose. See, after Kawhi left and they lost that game in Denver, and they asked about, Law Murray asked Kawhi about his future with James Harden. He said, I can't really answer that right now. But Lawrence Frank, he's saying, we want to bring them both back. We want to have them, run it back. We don't think, I didn't envision for either one of them to not be on the team next season. So again, he's waiting for one of them to leave and to break the contract. Now, again, he can just be up there lying and just saying whatever. But we got to go by what he said. So Joey Lynn says the main takeaway with this is that Lawrence Frank is that from the press that the Clippers plan on running back with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden duo while maintaining financial flexibility going forward. They expect to be competitive again next season through internal improvement and roster additions. Beyond next season, they believe they're an attractive destination for future free agents. So, again, Lawrence Frank believes Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are a good duo. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. They don't fit. One guy plays ball dime. The other guy likes to play through sets. One guy is efficient, prides his way through efficiency. The other guy prides himself onto, being a guy that takes a multiple amount of shots. One guy loves to play both ways of the ball. The other guy likes to play one way of the ball. One guy seems to only make certain guys better and pass it to certain players. The other guy doesn't care who gets the ball, who gets the shots, as long as the ball moves. I mean, they just play two different styles of basketball. I don't see where they fit. offensively or defensively. They're two different people. Now, of course, opposites attract personality-wise, but I'm talking about on the basketball court, they believe in two different things, completely two different things. They were brought in playing two different ways. They value two different things. One guy, to me, values winning and winning at all costs. The other guy values more so being entertaining and entertaining at all costs. With all due respect. Again, one guy has 2 championships. The other guy doesn't have any championship. One guy, he looks great in the regular season. In the playoffs, he looks mediocre to bad. The other guy looks good in the regular season, very good, and he excels in the postseason. As y'all come to hit that like button. So that's that. And then he says they expect to be competitive. What's really weird to me about all this is that you don't see the word championship in any of this. You see the words competitive. You see the words attractive, destination. I mean, what is this, a resort? Like, are you trying to run a basketball basketball team, or are you trying to run a resort? I mean, you say attractive destination for future free agents. So that's basically saying that Kawhi and James don't have much time left, which I agree. But why would you want to sit here and go through another duo again after you saw the ceiling it got to? Kawhi is fully healthy. Kawhi was playing at top tier level. James Harden got a full season with the Clippers. He was supposed to be at the top. This was supposed to be the season to do what you all expected to do. Since you didn't even get close to competing, I mean, exactly what do you see yourself doing next season? Just a question. Come here as y'all come here at the like button. Here's another thing. Lawrence Frank on Norman Powell. He said he was living the example of addition by subtraction. So, like I mentioned with Norm, according to Lawrence Frank, they're going to sit down with his agent and speak about possibly bringing a new deal in, right? Or, depending on how the contract negotiations go, looking to walk. But it sounds like they want Norman Powell back. Norman Powell obviously underperformed for what he was in the regular season. I'm not even just talking about him scoring the basketball, but his ability, his impact, his efficiency from the field. Did he actually show himself up to be a third option? Right? A lot of stuff we got to look at. So that's pretty much all the tweets I want to go through, but I want to get a little bit deeper into this, right? And I'm gonna let y'all come in as I'm cooking. Who's this dude who got my name? I'm making fake accounts now. Joshua Smith said I want Powell gone. Okay. King Common Sense, what's up, man? He said refresh button is needed. Go get LaMelo and keep Zoo. I don't want LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is not a winner. He's an entertainer. He's a guy that, you know, he'll put if you want people to come to the games, yeah. You know, he can put people in the seats. But as far as winning a championship and winning basketball, I'd rather have Lonzo. I'd rather have Lonzo Ball with LaMelo Ball. More efficient, better defender, better facilitator, doesn't turn the ball over as much, takes care of it. You know, improved 3-point shooter. I mean, he does all the intangibles. He just does better than LaMelo. LaMelo just LaMelo just more talented than Lonzo. I mean, he's more flashy. But as far as getting the job done, Lonzo Ball has been a winner ever since he was in high school. So I'd rather have Lonzo Ball over LaMelo. Salute to my boy Monty. What's good, bro? Nah, I don't want to see. I've been watching. He's from out here, bro. LaMelo's not a winner. Once in high school, he left. Once his brother left high school at Chino Hills, LaMelo didn't even have that team in the playoffs, bro. He can't lead. Partially the reason why the Hornets are so bad because he can't lead. He misses, and he's also injury prone. Now, what's his face is injury prone too, Lonzo. But I've seen Lonzo Ball take the Bulls as the first seed in the East. The Bulls weren't doing a damn thing for years, and they were the number one seed before Lonzo got that injury with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Right? Nah, he was a sophomore. His freshman year, Lonzo was still a senior. They won the state championship. They won the state championship that year. That sophomore year, the next year, LaMelo, they didn't even have that team in the playoffs. Yeah, I've seen enough of LaMelo. He can't lead. So that's what I'll say about that. But let me continue though. I don't even get too off track. I want to talk about what Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue were talking about. And like I said, I want y'all to vote in that chat about what y'all think about this title. Does Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue need to both be resigned? But do both of them need to go? Neither one of them need to go. One of them should go. Whatever y'all feel in the chat, let me know. Now, according to the tweets right now, neither one of them, we don't know what's going to happen. It looks like Lawrence Frank is still out of his job, and Ty Lue, we ain't heard nothing about him yet. It's still up in the air. But there's a lot of stuff I want to point out about why the way I feel. And I did a lot of research. I just remembered a lot of different things just recently about, I forgot on, just both of these two, their tenures with the Clippers. People keep saying, well, it's been a failure since Kawhi Leonard's been here. Well, if we want to actually fill in the holes with this, we have to start from the top. Because as long as Kawhi Leonard's been here, Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank has been here the same amount, if not longer. Let's start off with Lawrence Frank, who's been here since he's been the executive for the Clippers since 2017. He was assistant coach for 2 years. Before that, previously, he was a head coach, with the Detroit Pistons and I believe the Brooklyn Nets. I know a lot of y'all don't know Lawrence Frank's coaching history, but he was a head coach and an assistant coach. But that's not the topic of discussion. We're talking about his tenure with the Clippers. He's been the executive for the Clippers since 2017, 2018. Now, again, I want y'all to pay attention when I'm about to go through, because I'm going to go through this very, very swiftly, and I want y'all to really take heed what I'm about to say. The Clippers have been a team, has never won a championship, right? They never went to the finals. They've been to one conference finals. They've always been the little brother to the LA Lakers. So when you have a organization, a team, a franchise, a brand that's never tasted real success, and I'm talking about at the highest pecking order, expectations get lowered, value gets lowered, people just kind of put you to the side, you're not taking that serious, yada, yada, yada. I would say the Clippers really started being relevant when they received Kawhi Leonard and Paul George at the time when he was here. That trade really made people say the Clippers are a serious threat, and not a moment sooner. The year before they went to the conference, they were the AFC in the Western Conference. People didn't really look at the Clippers as a championship caliber team. They said, "Oh, that's a competitive, good team. They're gritty. They play hard, yada yada." But it wasn't until they got Kawhi and Paul George when they actually said, "Okay, this team can compete for a championship." They were picked that year in the bubble, right, to get to the finals. They obviously didn't get it done, but the next following season, that year they had a chance to get all the way. Got to the conference finals for the first time, and then people started looking at them as a real threat. Why do I say all that? It's because a lot of stuff is going under people's noses because they still think the Clippers are not. They don't think the Clippers are that franchise. They haven't won a championship yet. Until they win a championship, they're not. People are not going to really take the Clippers as serious as a lot of these other franchises, and people can get away with being mediocre for their jobs. And that brings me to Lawrence Frank. Ty Lue gets, he needs to be fired, yada, yada, yada. But it's more than just the head coach that's involved. Again, if the Clippers, in my personal opinion, in order for them to fix the problem, and I mean really fix the problems, they have to start cleaning up their own house and getting things in order. That comment that Bolt just put out there, I'm going to see if I can pull it up again. But he had a great comment right here. He said, we need to fire both of them like Denver did because they both been messing up. Lawrence Frank, less than tied, but he's been trading away critical people and young players, and both let it our downfall. This is a golden comment right here. Why is that? Because he spit up the actual true facts and said that Denver, the Nuggets, the team that ironically beat the Clippers in embarrassing fashion, did, in my opinion, what the Clippers should have done. See, and this was confirmed by a source that I talked to last night, who is one of the Denver Nuggets beat writers who I talked to personally last night over the phone, who's going to, he's in OKC now watching the first game of the next round against Denver. So he obviously has a relationship with the players and the coaches. He gave me the inside scoop of what actually happened, and the suspicions of the players getting Mike Malone fired was accurate. Now, it wasn't so much they just went to the front office and let him go, but basically he lost the locker room. He lost the locker room. Nobody was listening to him. Y'all heard in the press conference that nobody watched his film. The guys that were out on him was Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon, the top guys, which, again, like I mentioned earlier, about a month ago, when a situation similar to what happened to the team that I was on, the main players didn't want him around. The main guys did not want this coach around that we had coaching us. And we didn't, well, per se, I didn't. But because I was one of the guys that was the youngest guy on the team, but I was still I was the point guard, starting point guard. But the older guys who were older than me went to the general manager and basically voiced their opinions and their frustrations with the coach. And then he was out literally the next day, didn't even come to practice. So I was speaking off of experience of what was going on possibly. For something like that to happen at that point of the season, you can pretty much take it to the bank that was something that was done in-house, and that was something that was done because the players were tired of him. So I say that to say Bolt is right, because he said Mike Malone, who won a championship, that's the thing. Mike Malone actually won a championship. He went to 2 conference finals. Or he went to a conference finals in the NBA. He went to 2 conference finals, and he has an NBA championship, and he still got fired because of the little amount of uncomfortability from the Nuggets organization. He gets let go. But also, their general manager, Calvin Booth, gets let go. What comes out? Calvin Booth and Mike Malone are having friction on who should be playing. The GM doesn't waste any time, or the owner doesn't waste any time. He goes ahead and cleans house. And look at Denver right now. They're in the second round after everybody said that the Nuggets were going to somehow struggle. Very similar to what I said. As soon as our coach left and we got somebody else in there, we went on a winning streak. That told me that owner knows what he's doing, and he's not afraid to make big decisions. That falls on Steve Ballmer. As y'all come here and smash that like button. But again, the Clippers to me are doing too much retooling and trying to clean around the mess and clean around the spillage of, lemonade on the floor, soda on the floor, food, whatever. They're trying to wipe around it instead of getting a mop bucket, and clean up the mess and starting over. Taking the time out to fix the wounds, taking the time out to actually clean what needs to be cleaned so it doesn't come back and be a problem again. That is the Clippers' biggest issue that I'm seeing, and that's why it hasn't worked. That's what brings me to Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue. Look, these two have been here for 6 seasons, for 5-6 seasons together. Lawrence Frank has been the executive for going on almost 10 seasons. Almost 10. What have you done in 10 seasons? You ain't won a championship. You ain't been to the finals. The players that you keep bringing in, somehow Ty Lue doesn't want them or is not playing them. You wanted Terrence Mann. Ty Lue doesn't play him. You brought in Ben Simmons. Ty Lue doesn't want to play him. You brought in Robert Covington. Ty Lue doesn't want to play him. You're bringing all these players. You brought in Derrick Jones Jr. Ty Lue doesn't want to play him the minutes he should be playing him. Ty Lue wants to play guys like Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, James Harden. Who else am I thinking of? He wants to play guys that fit a certain style or offensive minded. Lawrence Frank has a mindset of playing guys that are more defensive minded, and I think more so are connectors. They don't have the same vision, in my personal opinion. I don't think these two particularly really like each other. I think whatever they say in front of the cameras is all for face and for show. I never see these two guys with each other. They're always apart. So what's the point of coming into work if the person that you work close to doesn't really care for you too much? I think these guys are both headstrong. They butt heads. It's either their way or the highway. I mean, it's just like oil and water. Don't mix. And that might be okay if you were winning, but you're not winning. You're not getting along. So why are you guys both here? What is the real sole purpose of this? I'm going to get into Ty Lue, but I think a lot of people are forgetting that Lawrence Frank has a part of this as well. And players have voiced for a while about Lawrence Frank and his ways and how his ways keep the team from being at the highest level. I'm going to be playing a little bit of film and letting y'all see where this all started at. And as y'all always do, y'all just sit back and relax. I want y'all to go look as far as no farther than Blake Griffin. See, a lot of Clipper fans actually forget this. As I said before, what's really annoying to me? A lot of these players that seem to come in here, I'm talking about a lot of these players that seem to come in here, the main guys, for some reason they start having friction with the organization, but yet they're the ones that get blamed for it. Y'all know what happened with Blake Griffin, who a lot of times, a lot of Clipper fans, from what I've been seeing, I ain't been a Clipper fan outside of since 2018. But Blake Griffin, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of Clipper fans has ranked as is either a top 2, top 3 Clipper from the main of the fan bases. But his exit from the Clippers, a lot of people really, I mean, it obviously wasn't a pleasant one. He was traded after giving a max extension right before the trade deadline, I think in January. They said it was a very awkward moment. He had friction with the front office. I'm talking about Steve Ballmer, and I'm guessing Lawrence Frank at the time, because of how everything went down. And we keep re-seeing other examples of this as time went on. So I want y'all to hear again what Blake Griffin had to say about how his exit was from the LA Clippers and how Lawrence Frank has a hand in all this. So here we go.
They wanted to win a championship, very quickly, and they didn't think that was going to happen, with me there. And I totally get that. I just, the only thing is, we kind of wish it had gone about, they'd gone about it a different way.
How so?
Just like, I guess the respect of having, letting your agent know so that like, hopefully both parties can work out a deal that they both want, that it both works for them.
Because you found out from just kind of a friend.
Yeah, a friend had told me, and I called my agent to kind of tell him, hey, this is what I heard. He's like, oh, let me call. Nobody picked up. He called me back. He's like, that was weird. Normally he answers my call every time. And I was like, all right, that's weird. So I had to go into the facility that morning to like do a lift. And I had called the GM as well, or whatever his title is. And
so what's happening, what y'all hearing real quick, is how everything was transpiring before Blake Griffin was announced that he was traded. Now, recap, they're coming into the season, and they're in the season actually, and Blake Griffin's agent, or Blake Griffin hears that he's been traded from somebody, and then when Blake Griffin gets the news from a friend, he automatically calls his agent and tells him what he heard. The agent calls the front office, who Lawrence Frank at the time was the executive of the Clippers. Doc Rivers was there, as well as the head coach. Him and Doc Rivers were both together. So there's no response from the Clippers front office, who seems to always answer Blake Griffin's calls. So that right there was him being unfamiliar with the situation. He goes to the actual facility to go work out, which were the headquarters where the Clippers, office is. And then what happens after that is this.
No response, nothing in return, like an hour and a half later. And I was like, yeah, I'll go up there and just check. And never forget that conversation. I went up there and I was like, hey, to his assistant, it's good dude. I was like, hey, is he in there? And he's like, I think he's in a meeting. And he looked a little shook when I walked up there. I'm like, tell him I want to talk to him. And so he goes in there and he comes out like a little bit later and he's like, hey, yeah, let's go in here to this other office. And he goes to open the door and it's locked. So it's just me and him. He turns to his assistant. He's like, can you get the keys for this? And he's like, yeah, the assistant like scurries off. So it's just me and him. And he's like, how's it going? I was like.
So basically shook because he didn't expect Blake Griffin to be at the facility. Now, again, this is all happening after Blake Griffin said he heard that he was going to be traded from the Clippers. I'm saying all this because I'm pointing out the fact why Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue need to be gone and how a lot of this stuff is happening underneath their tenure. See, we keep saying Kawhi Leonard hasn't won a championship. Paul George didn't win nothing here. All this, the players, we keep looking at the players, but the ones that are in charge, who seems to be the authority that the players are under, they don't really seem to have good authority, or they're still trying to find a counterbalance between the two. Whatever they're doing isn't working. So if it's not working and you don't have the formula to make it work, why are you still here? He's had the job for 7-8 seasons. Ty Lue has been the coach for 5-6 seasons. Kawhi Leonard has been healthy this year. That's all we've been waiting for, was a healthy Kawhi. You still didn't get it done. As a matter of fact, you got put out worse than what you did when you claim that you needed Kawhi Leonard healthy to win? First 2 seasons when they got Kawhi and PG there, they got to the second round in the conference finals. They have gotten worse ever since 2021. They have gotten worse. Don't make the playoffs. First round exits. 3 straight years. First round exits. 3 straight years. So obviously it's not working, but yet and still everybody seems to be so comfortable, like there's nothing that needs to change. And nobody wants to talk about it. But let's continue.
I was like, you tell me. And he's like, we're standing there, just an awkward, just a moment of awkwardness for I don't know, a good 20 seconds. He's like, all right, let's just go in my office. And I was like, I just want to know like what's going on. And he's, he starts with like a player of your caliber. And I was like, oh, like, come on. I don't need all that. I just want to know, And he's like, you'll be the first call. And I was like, all right, appreciate it. And
now, that was his assistant. Y'all can hear what I'm saying. I'm just pointing it out. His assistant said that he'll be the first one to know if he gets traded. But leading up to that, you can see that his assistant was very awkward. He was very tense. He was very, he was shook because he's know that Blake Griffin found out what he had heard, and he didn't think that Blake Griffin would have found out. But the fact that he didn't was actually face to face. The guy didn't know what to say. He ends up lying to him, saying he's going to find out, knowing that most likely Lawrence Frank told him that Blake Griffin trade's already been done.
And I was driving home, went to pick up my kids. I saw Woj's tweet that says the Clippers and Pistons are finalizing a deal. But also my friend was giving me updates the whole time. He's like, hey, it's at the 1 yard line. And that was it. So that's what I mean. Like, I totally get it from their like standpoint and a business standpoint. Like, when I move on from a guy, it's completely normal. It was just like everything about it that, it's tough. But
Steve Ballmer and Doc Rivers both called you afterwards. You didn't answer. What's the likelihood that relationship can be repaired?
Yeah, I mean, probably can. Mostly the reason I didn't answer is like the way, again, just how it happened. And I was with my kids. My phone was just blowing up. We were like on the trampoline. We were playing this game, and I wasn't picking up. And then after that, I was just kind of like, what am I gonna call him back and talk about it? But no, I mean, I don't. It's not like this thing where I'm just like, no, I'll never speak to these people again. Right. It's just like at the time, I don't think I was ready to do that. Whether that was right or wrong, I'm not saying I was right in thinking that, but that's just how I felt at the time. And
so obviously Blake Griffin felt some type of way of what happened. He didn't answer their call after they already knew that he was going to get traded. And the only thing he asked for was them to be honest with him. I mean, you got a guy that, once again, Blake Griffin is one of the top players to play through your organization. I mean, the respect that he expected to have, and not just him, mostly players, they understand that it's a business and they know that their time might be up. But when you start trying to backtrack and start trying to, be political and start not being upfront with and having that relationship and being transparent, then that's when the player starts to lose respect for you or has already lost respect. So what happens next is Blake Griffin comes back to LA against the Clippers. And I remember this specifically. He comes and plays with a certain level of vengeance and fire. And he comes back and actually gives the Clippers a 40-piece, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. And the Pistons beat the Clippers. Not only that, Blake Griffin pretty much ignored Steve Ballmer, ignored, I think, Doc Rivers and anybody else. I don't think Lawrence Frank was on the floor, but I mean, let's just be honest. Like, they basically led him on to think they were going to, sign him, and they ended up moving him. And that goes to this whole no trade clause, why Blake Griffin, like the no trade clause is so important. Because since the Clippers, since he had no trade clause, they just traded away to Detroit, a losing franchise at the time, in the damn cold. Nobody wants to be in Detroit. They traded him somewhere that he didn't want to be. because he couldn't protect himself and nobody had nothing to say about it. That's why players have to protect themselves. Ownership, teams can protect themselves at all times. They can trade players whenever they want to trade them. But when a player asks for a no trade clause, when a player asks for an extension, when a player asks for something to protect them, it's all of a sudden, oh, we can't do that. They shouldn't be asking. Why they asking for that? Why they doing this? So it's really coming down to basically, that's why you see so much player empowerment to this day. So again, that's one of your best players that you really had a sour relationship with. That's on Lawrence Frank's watch. Then, not only that you have that on your watch, y'all forget what happened to Patrick Beverley, who, and I know Mad Max will appreciate this. Patrick Beverley was actually let go from the Clippers, and he called a contract offer disrespectful that they offered him. That they offered him a disrespectful contract to the point he was forced to leave. Right? He was forced to leave LA. He didn't want to leave, but because of the contract offer they offered him, right in the offseason, y'all remember after 2021, where he pushed Chris Paul in the back, and they basically let him go after that. Right? Y'all heard on JJ Redick's podcast, Patrick Beverley felt that they made a disrespectful offer to him. Where have we heard this before? Who have we heard this about? I already told you what happened to Blake Griffin. Y'all saw what happened. But people forget with Patrick Beverley too. He was up for a contract offer. And we don't know the exact numbers, but Patrick Beverley, people don't realize that the Clippers ain't been the same since he left either. They lost their heart and soul. What do we keep looking for? Every single team since he left is their heart and soul. You had a Russell Westbrook. They thought they had it with Chris Dunn. But the Clippers have been missing a heart and soul of this team. They had Marcus Morris as well. I'll give them that. But because you got two laid-back stars like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, you need somebody to sometimes jumpstart their gear. And you know Patrick Beverley was always on go. So you need players like that on your roster. Now, I get it. Patrick Beverley did have injuries throughout the season at times. But when it comes to playoffs, Patrick Beverley, that's where he shines at. There's certain players that produce in the playoffs, and there's certain guys that produce in the regular season. James Harden. Oh, shit. Sorry. I mean, for that to come out. Whew. But there's people in the regular season that do their thing, and there's people in the playoffs that do their thing. Patrick Beverley's a playoff performer. He rises to the occasions in the playoffs. So you don't let a player like that go. And you sure as hell don't give him no offer that he claims is being disrespectful. You must have really wanted him out of there after what he did to Chris Paul. Another guy who really doesn't really have much to say about your organization either. That's 3 dudes. That's 2-3 dudes, not called, including Paul George, who had sour exits away from the organization. Now, they'll say the right things and be like, you know, we appreciate the Clipper fan base. We loved our time there, but I mean, we're gonna keep it a band. When it comes to that money, man, like when you basically kind of try to sidetrack somebody and disrespect them, they don't forget that. And that's what happened in that playing game against the Timberwolves, the Clippers, where Patrick Beverley basically did the same thing Russell Westbrook did and said, get the hell off the court. I'm using a different word, but y'all saw the game. Patrick Beverley is literally in tears after the game. And he came out and said that I gave my blood, sweat, and tears to this organization. And for them to basically just send me off like that after I helped them get into that conference finals, and I was a part of it. I was a starting point guard with Reggie Jackson. I mean, we don't get there unless I'm there either. So why do I have to beg for something I feel like I'm owed? And since that moment, they haven't really been able to replace Patrick Beverley. They ain't been back to the conference finals since he left. So, Lawrence Frank, that was on your watch as well. You tried to shortchange the dude, and I can only think because of what happened with Chris Paul, or maybe you just really are that cheap of a GM where you don't want to play guys what they're really owed. And that brings me to Paul George, which I'll be having a video out coming this week about that as well. I'll be having a field day with that. But I think people have forgot that not just Paul George and not just Patrick Beverley, not just Blake Griffin, but DeMarcus Cousins as well spoke about his time with the Clippers, and he seems to believe, and I agree, Paul George didn't ruin the Clippers. This notion that he ruined the Clippers because of the trade. First off, didn't they go to the conference finals? Ain't that the farthest they ever went in their whole tenure? I don't remember OKC going to the conference finals since the trade. We ain't seen it yet. So as of right now, the Clippers have went farther than the Thunder since that trade has been made. And there's no guarantee the Thunder are going to get past the conference finals because teams are younger. Teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves, teams like the Houston Rockets, right? The Denver Nuggets are still around. The Warriors are still doing what they're doing after last night. You got the Spurs are going to be better, right? You got a lot of teams that are still good. OKC is proven to do one thing and one thing only, to be dominant in the regular season. And I'm, like I said, I'm very interested to see what they do this playoff, this round against Denver. I expect the Nuggets to lose tonight, but as far as the entirety of the series, I'm interested to see how that series goes. So I want y'all to hear what DeMarcus Cousins has to say about this, about Lawrence Frank as well. So be right back.
Is, looked upon as Paul George, kind of messed up what could have been in, LA. We know Lawrence Frank, man. Like let's not let's not do this, bro. Like it's time to take some accountability, bro. Like he's on a legendary run. Let's just say that.
Wait, because you said that Kawhi and PG wanted you back with the Clippers, but Lawrence Frank's the dude who said no. So what happened?
It's always Lawrence. It's always Lawrence.
It's always Lawrence. It's always Lawrence. Did y'all hear that? It's always Lawrence. It's always Lawrence. To me, it seemed like that seems to be exactly what it is. But the thing is that he's getting a pass because nobody looks and sees Lawrence Frank at games. Nobody even knows a lot of outsiders don't even know who the GM is or the president of basketball ops is. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, but they look at the guys that are on the court on that sideline, but you miss the guy who's responsible for bringing players in and out, who are pulling the strings. It's like anything. A lot of times y'all see stuff happening around, somebody's pulling the strings, but they get pretty much scot-free because nobody sees them physically, but yet they're having the most amount of power. He said, it's always Lawrence. This is what the players are saying. The ones that are actually in the rooms with these people day in and day out, it's always Lawrence. And Lou Williams, another Clipper known guy, agreed with DeMarcus Cousins as well.
Just know that. Lou, am I?
Lawrence.
He's not far off base.
Okay, all right.
He's not far off base.
So then what are we trying to do here? Like, what's the plan?
I just want the accountability to be, where it's supposed to be, and that's.
And it's not on Paul.
Nah.
Gotcha.
It's no reason for him not to get everything he's asking for in the contract year. Like, There's no reason.
Again, he was available.
Yeah.
He was playing.
Clippers had their chance to re-sign him, and they didn't. They let him walk.
He was available. He was playing at a high level. He was one of the 3 guys that you can depend on to be available and be healthy and on the floor that past season. And to go back and forth with him about his contract extension was kind of crazy to me.
Yeah. I thought it was nuts. Shocking to me that he was allowed to leave like that, but that's all right.
So basically, Lawrence Frank has been getting by on some of the bigger decisions. Blake Griffin gets traded away. Patrick Beverley leaves. Right out of nowhere after Patrick Beverley was big in that Phoenix Suns series defensively on Devin Booker. The Clippers could have won that series. You know what? The Clippers could have really won that series if there a few things didn't go wrong. If Paul George didn't miss his free throws, if DeAndre didn't hit that alley-oop dunk, if certain defensive matchups were better implicated, they could have won that series without Kawhi Leonard. Paul George won 6 playoff games without Kawhi Leonard. I don't think people remember that. They could have won that series. But that's for another day. Lawrence Frank, look, it's the same story, man. The dude wants to sign high-value players for the low. He wants to shortchange people. He wants to save as much money as he can. I think he's a guy that he does work hard in his profession, his field. I think he does try to do the job at best of his ability, but he hasn't won a championship. His way has not worked. His way hasn't worked. And you got guys actually coming out and saying this, and nobody's even putting this out here. And this is why I feel he needs to be really let go. When you let Paul George leave, that to me was the door that slammed for the Clippers championship aspirations, because you don't hear Clipper fans talking the way they were talking when they had him. You don't hear nobody saying championship no more. You keep saying they're going to be competitive. Lawrence Frank used to say championship, that they were a championship tandem, they had a championship team. Now the terms are switching to we're competitive. Well, damn, what changed? How do you go from championship to competitive in one season? The truth is, Lawrence Frank signed James Harden to that deal because it was a cheaper deal, and he thought that he can do what Paul George can do on both ends. But we both saw, when we all just seen that that's not the case, especially at James Harden's age, that he's not really trying to look to win a championship. He's looking to get paid. He's looking to get his money. Good for him. But if Lawrence Frank is, and if Steve Ballmer is basically allowing Lawrence Frank just to do this off of him just making money back and keep tell Clipper fans that they have like that that exit interview Lawrence Frank just did, it's the same speech he's been doing the last 2-3 seasons. We're gonna go with the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing over and over. But it's worse this time because you just seen your best player on the court and y'all performed worse. Regular season, sure, you can be competitive in the regular season, but nobody is afraid of the Clippers, man. Nobody's afraid of this team because they see the coaching, they see the direction, they see everything. That these teams aren't afraid of the Clippers, what they're doing. There's no stability. Guys are in and out the team every single year. They're constantly experimenting. And that brings me to Ty Lue, and I'm gonna let y'all in after this. Tyronn Lue, 5th season as the Clippers head coach. Ty Lue his tenure with the Clippers consists of 1 conference finals appearance and 3 first-round exits. Yeah, 1 conference finals appearance and 3 first-round exits because he wasn't the coach in the bubble. That was Doc Rivers. Basically, Ty Lue has gotten pretty much his gotten his notoriety off of the backs of ESPN, who pretty much spoken a good name on him, pretty much gave him a good name by saying how he's a top coach. You hear certain guys like Stephen A. Smith, like Kendrick Perkins, you know, all these guys on the television screen who don't really watch the games. They're so busy with what they got going on with their shows and stuff. They don't have time to watch these games. They don't have time to follow just one team. They're not beat writers. They're too big for that. That's good for them. But it's the same dried up line that he's a top 5 coach when we don't see any of that and we actually watch him day in and out. We used to call him Mr. Adjuster. At least we used to. Why did he get that name? Because of what happened in 2021 NBA playoffs, where he somehow made adjustments, elementary adjustments, series by series. But as I stated before, there's guys who adjust and there's guys that adjust in the game. It doesn't do any good to adjust when the game is over because once the game is over, you already done lost. You can't get it back. So how good are you if you need to go home and watch the film? And we keep hearing the Ty Lue after every single press conference. Sometimes he'll say, well, I need to go watch the film, or I didn't see something. Well, damn, that don't make you that valuable of a coach if you can't adjust within the game. If you don't see the house burning down and it takes you all, but it takes you a whole 10, 12 possessions of scoring run for you to call timeout like you Phil Jackson, that's a problem. I've seen Ty Lue allow 16 to 20 runs go before he calls a timeout. Arms crossed on the sideline, no expression, no fire, just sitting there, just with his arms crossed and allowing his team just to get ran off the court or getting the hell beat out of him. I think it was somebody that said this. I think my man D-Rob said this. He said that Ty Lue don't have a plan B during the game. If his plan A isn't working, he has to let the plan A fall before he goes and adjusts in the next game. We saw that this playoffs. Everybody kept saying Nicholas Batum, Nicholas Batum, Nicholas Batum. He ends up starting DJJ for Nicholas Batum. And I remember, I think after the game, the reason they didn't start Nicholas Batum because they felt the other team was going to actually counteract that because it was so widely spread that Nicholas Batum should start. So wait a minute. Now you're worried about what the other team is thinking before you make your adjustment. That don't sound like a top edge coach. A top edge coach ain't worried about what the other team is thinking in their head, especially that deep into a playoff series. You trust what you have. If they have to stop what you got. I feel like just like Mike Malone's voice dried up with the Denver Nuggets, I feel like Ty Lue has dried up with the Clippers. Again, Mike Malone got fired after winning a championship. Mike Malone got fired after making the conference finals twice. Mike Malone got fired in 5 years. Mike Malone got fired after winning that championship. This guy gets a 5-year extension after a first-round exit. And then this year, quite frankly, we don't know if he's going to be back or not. He ain't been fired yet. You done sat guy after guy. You done sat Robert Covington. Y'all forget Rocco. Right? There's guys on the roster that he just sits down and he constantly does it and people can't figure out why. For this Robert Covington was probably the most that was probably the most head scratching reason I don't understand why he didn't get any minutes. That was probably the biggest one. Him. He was a professional. He had size. He can stretch the floor. He can shoot. He had length. He was athletic. Seemed like a good locker room guy. And just basically getting DNPs. I mean, it was crazy. But Marcus Morris getting 30 to 35 minutes, looking older, looking worse. Of course, he had like an attitude problem for a certain period of time, causing disruption. You kept playing him. But you kept sitting Rocco on the bench. That's Ty Lue. You got Terrence Mann. You already know his story. Terrence Mann gets benched for damn near everything. He can't even get on the. He can't even. Terrence Mann couldn't. He got benched for doing well. You know how demoralizing that is to get benched for doing good. You do what you're supposed to do. He says, "I'm doing what they're coming out saying he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do," but yet the minutes don't match that. You see 10, you see 12. Hell, I remember when back in 2022, this dude got like I think 5 minutes, but yet he's supposed to be the guy that can be our best point of attack defender. He should be getting minutes like Patrick Beverly, right? Like Christopher Dunn has been getting the minutes that he was getting up until like the last few games of the playoffs. Terrence Mann was part of that conference finals run. Hell, he was supposed to take a leap. Part of the reason why I understand Terrence Mann's offensive game may be a little limited, but the fact of the matter is Terrence Mann's inconsistency to play in his minutes were a big reason why his mental was an issue. Everybody has a role to do on the team. You see how Russell Westbrook's playing in Denver because he's playing in an actual real good environment. It's a chaotic environment when you don't know when you're going to be playing, when you don't know you're going to get minutes, when you don't know it's a very chaotic environment. Ty Lue. How many young players have we had come in and out? Kai Jones just playing. First game in Dallas, double-double. First game. Daniel Gafford out. Derek Lively out. We need a center. Hey, we need a big man. We want to play big. Kai Jones says, I'll catch oops. I'll block shots. I'll run the floor. Sign me up. Double-double first game. Kai Jones, 22, 23 years old. Kai Jones, you brought Kai Jones in here for what? Y'all said y'all was watching him for two. Was it Lawrence Frank watching him or Ty Lue watching him? That's another. I can't determine who wants who. I don't know who wants who. It's so much confusion. These two obviously ain't on the same page. I don't care how much they try to front in front of cameras. Whatever. Their visions are completely different. Who they value are completely different. They don't match because you keep asking, why is this player not playing? Why is Kai Jones not playing? Moussa Diabate over in Charlotte. Another piece is over there playing great I know Charlotte's a rebuilding team, but at least he's getting valuable minutes, and you see the potential with that size on the court. All we keep talking about is the Clippers don't have any size. Well, damn, you don't play your size. And then Lawrence Frank trades away the size. So y'all both holding the team back. Ty Lue don't know who to play. The players he's put on the court. You had a healthy Kawhi Leonard, bro. What is the excuse now? You don't have no excuse. Unless you just want to be mediocre and y'all don't want to win, that's one thing. But who wants to be a part of that? And then you say free agents are going to come to the Clippers, bro. That's not a guarantee. First off, especially when LeBron James leaves, that ain't no guarantee they want to come here, man. I mean, players talk, bro. Like, they talk. Another thing about Lawrence Frank, he said something about Norman Powell. So what do you think Norman Powell going to ask for this summer? Probably not a max, but you're going to have to come out your pocket. What you going to do, shortchange him too? Because if another team offers Norman Powell a nice deal, and he will get a nice deal somewhere else, he's out of here. Now, that won't be the worst thing if you can get a second option, a legit one. But my point is that your moves, Lawrence Frank, have not really been the betterment of the team. It's left a lot of confusion because now your hand is forced because Norman Powell, this is going to be his last big deal. So he's going to want to break the bank. And you got two options. If you don't pay him, then and you don't have a second option, you don't have somebody that can come and take his place, because I don't think James Harden can be that in the playoffs. Then you basically back at square one. If you do pay him and he forces your hand, how much are you willing to give up? Simple question. How much are you willing to give up for Norman Powell? Amir Coffey, they're going to probably get him off his team. Ty Lue shit. You bench him and say it's because of his plus minus or something. Whatever law said, talking about they got him out the rotation because out of the 10 players, he doesn't have a positive plus minus. Right? That just sounds like some shit that they just fished out of water, bro. Everything ain't about analytics, man. I understand analytics are important to a degree, but we have two eyes for a reason. What about the shooting splits? What about the spacing? What about the athleticism? What about the intangibles that he brings on the team? Ben Simmons gets benched because he called you out for lying. He's gone. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But it's just more friction and confusion. James Harden not showing up for post games after they lose, bro. That's just, now it's getting out of basketball. Now it's just basically how you running. You're running a clown show now at this point. Now guys can just sit up there and just not show up for post game media after the game after they lose, or because their feelings get hurt, or they don't want to take accountability, bro. And you want to re-sign this again. So you want to see Clipper. Hey, if y'all didn't hear nothing, y'all heard this. Bro, sometimes that's like an ex. They keep going back to an ex that keeps beating the hell out of them time and time again and keep saying, I love them. I'm gonna say that again. That's like somebody going back to an ex time and time again and getting beat the hell out of every single time, and your excuse for staying with that ex because I love him. That is mental abuse, to allow bad behavior and act like ain't nothing going wrong. And not only that, nothing seems to be working. The plan that you keep doing over there is not working, and you're so quick to just basically say like this, we're gonna do it again. Absolutely insanity. But I talked enough. I'm gonna let y'all come in here. I don't know, because they're that's what happens, bro. It's the same thing. When you are not, this is the same thing they did to Westbrook. And I don't say how people keep falling for the okie doke. Your environment where you play matters. If you keep getting pushed to the bench, or you're not getting consistent minutes, or you keep basically put to the side, you're not going to play the best of your abilities. That's just the fact and the bottom line, bro. Rob, what's good, man?
Hey, what's good, BJ? Salute to your channel. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, man. So we're in a tight situation here. James Harden, he's definitely coming back for that paycheck. They could try and trade him, make some trades, or they can there's two things that can really happen. Either you fire Ty Lue and get a coach that can change, convince Harden to change his play style for the betterment of the team, or you try to trade him. Because you can't win a championship with James Harden. And I'm a Harden guy. And the reason you can't win is because he stuck to the same old Daryl Morey system. This is what he calls the system. This is what he's referring to. The Daryl Morey threes and layups only system that gets shut down during the playoffs. So when you see in Game 7 where he's freezing up, unlike Game 6, he's freezing up, you don't know what to do. When they take away his three in his lanes, he just starts passing. Because that's his only other skill. So the one coach I would say that did fix that was Doc Rivers, and he was in San Francisco when he was in Philly. And he was able to fix that by giving him back his post and mid-range game. Because if you ever watched him in Philly, he was taking a lot more mid-range shots. That was his bread and butter back in Philly. And the difference is Denver is a bottom 10 defense, and the Celtics were the best defensive team in the league that season. So if you get that James Harden, who's gonna shoot the mid-range shots, then you have a way better chance of winning a title. All you really need to do is just simple. You have a move around the ball, have him box out, and when his lanes get on, when his threes and his layups get cut off, you have to go to his post and mid-range game. It's just that simple. But guys, but here's what Ty Lue's doing. He's letting him do whatever he wants. That's what he's doing. He's letting James just come in, do his little offense. Kawhi, he got to sit in the corner. Derrick Jones, they got to sit in the corner, wait for a pass. Zoo, he's fine. Zoo is going to benefit off Harden. All the bigs do. Any big he plays with either becomes an all-star or gets a big bag. That's just what James Harden does with bigs. But outside of that, it's going to hurt everybody's game. And Kawhi, I mean, it works in spurts. Kawhi, it's not really Kawhi's game. It works in spurts because Kawhi is such a great isolation player. And he's going to run the floor. They're going to catch little fast breaks every now and then. So it works every now and then. But in the playoffs, what is Lawrence Frank talking about? He wants to be competitive. I mean, James Harden, he's going to get you through the regular season. That's what he's good for. He's going to get you through the regular season. He's going to fill up seats. But in the playoffs, when teams cut off what he's good at, that system, he's going to fall apart. This is why we talked about how James Harden is good early in the playoffs, and he starts to teeter off while teams make adjustments, and he has no answer for them. Hey, I mean, either you bring in a coach that's going to convince Harden to change for the betterment of the team, or you trade him. That's the only way this team was going to get back to winning the championship. As for Ty Lue and his little adjustments, yeah, the little small ball lineup is not going to work. You know, the last time they tried a small ball lineup was Houston, and I remember. I mean, Westbrook was on that team too. Westbrook had probably the worst playoffs of his career against the Lakers. James Harden, he lost. I mean, they couldn't do nothing. They lost to the Lakers won the chip that year. They went against the biggest team in the league with the smallest team in the league, and the smallest team got smoked. It's just not going to work. I don't know how many. Like, do you think James Harden can be traded, BJ?
Yeah.
Because
I think he can be traded. I think a team will take him.
You think the Milwaukee Bucks will take him for Dame Lillard, or you wouldn't want Dame?
Nah, I want a two-way player.
A two-way. Well, I mean, Dame is he's pretty much the opposite of Harden. He's a clutch player, and even though you won't get the two-way player you want, you still have a top defense.
Yeah, I don't know about that because Dame himself is riddled with injuries, man. So that'll be kind of a bad investment at this point in his career.
Yeah, man.
I mean, the only thing Lawrence Frank got away with was probably made us the GM happy was Paul George getting hurt. If it wasn't for that, I think he might have gotten fired. He probably would have got fired. If Paul George was healthy and Philly was good, it'd be a different story. But Paul George got hurt, and it looks like he's on the tail end of his career out the NBA. If it wasn't for that, I think Lawrence Frank probably would have got fired.
Let me go to Taz, bro. What's good, Taz?
What's going on, BJ? Hey, y'all doing all right, man?
Yeah, we doing all right.
Oh shit. Well, hell, when we talking about Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank, man, like you said, I think that them not being on the same page trickled all the way down, man, because you can tell it's confusion in Ty Lue's camp almost every game he plays. And everybody says it. Like Kawhi last year, we're confused coming out of timeouts. How in the fuck does that happen, Ty Lue? You're in a timeout for a reason. That is when you get your guys together. How do you come out of a point where you need to be together confused? It's a lot of things with Ty Lue that he just isn't going to be a good head coach for any team that he goes to. He has to literally have himself an all-star roster just for him to succeed. And even then, it's not going to work. Ty Lue, like you said, BJ, his main issue is having guys on the bench that are able to provide solid minutes. He sits them there. They literally rot on the bench, bro. I don't get it for the life of me. Like you said, when you got a Marcus Morris that is clearly old, clearly lost a few steps, not one step, a few steps, can't even hit the corner three like he used to, can't even get to the mid range and hit those midi shots like he used to. And you got other options on the bench like a Robert Covington that has shown that he's going to first bring his A game on defense. Especially that is the time when we needed Robert Covington because Marcus Morris was getting blown by every fucking possession. And not only that, he was a better 3-point shooter anywhere outside of the corner than Marcus Morris. Not only that, he's somebody that was going to crash the glass. When you have options like a Rocco in your repertoire and you just refuse to go to him, I have to look at you a different way as a coach. Because y'all know my philosophy. I'm a defensive first kind of guy. If I have anybody on my offense that does not know how to play defense relatively well, you're not playing. If I have any guy on my offense that you are losing a step, you've lost production, and you cannot provide the same intensity on the defensive end, you lose your spot. Not saying I'm going to sit you forever, but you're definitely not going to be playing 30 minutes. You're going to get 5 to 10 spot minutes. It's Ty Lue's coaching, like you said, with the timeouts. so many times throughout these years, bro. I like, even if I had 100 fingers and 100 toes, I'm pretty sure I still wouldn't be able to count how many times Ty Lue does not know how to utilize a timeout. You know, it is mind blowing because you're supposed to be, as everybody labels you, a Hall of Fame coach. But Hall of Fame coaches know damn sure how to manage an organization or know how to manage egos a lot better than Ty Lue. Ty Lue likes somebody and he sticks with that person forever. Forever. Like it is baffling. How in the fuck do you go from liking Terrence Mann when he's doing good for you by getting 39-point games in a closeout game 6 in a hostile environment like Utah to go to literally never playing the man his deserved minutes? That shit makes no sense to me, dog. Makes no sense at all. I mean, especially when it comes to Lawrence Frank, like you said, that confusion there, they don't know what each other's coaching type is, or they don't know what what each other is trying to come together and build around. You know, like it was a couple podcasts ago that I was telling Rob, I was like, hey, it seemed like these guys actually picked a group of guys that got a chip on their shoulder, but I was proven so fucking wrong. It was sad because it seemed like in that game 7, ain't nobody have that chip on their shoulder no more. Everybody just put that chip down or ate that motherfucker or something, dog. Like it's ridiculous because these guys they're just not on the same page when you look at the rosters. You know, the Clippers fans know very well that we need size. We need somebody down there with Zubac that can help him with those rebounds. Like it showed clearly in this last series that we need a second guy besides Zubac to help him in the paint. Zubac cannot do everything by himself. Kawhi cannot go down into a power forward position and effectively be a top scorer, a top defender, a top rebounder, a top steals person, a top blocks person. It's just not going to happen. You know, so I think these guys looked at what all Steve Kerr was able to do with Golden State in the small ball lineups, and they saw how intense that those small ball guys can play over there in Golden State, but they didn't take into consideration exactly who Golden State sought after in the first place. Draymond Green has always been Draymond Green for a reason. You know, he has that mental fortitude to go up to anybody, any size, anywhere, and say, I don't give a fuck who you is. I'm about to lock you up and you're going to feel every effect of whatever blow I give you. You know, we just don't have that kind of guy. And even if we had those kind of guys, Ty Lue refuses to play him. So I definitely agree with you, BJ. I think both of them got to be fired. I think, hell, this organization just needs a reboot at the moment. Yeah, and it's going to have to start with Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank. But shit, that's all I got, brother.
Yeah, I agree. What's good, T Sweezy? Yo, T, you on mute. All right, I'll go back to you. My man Don, what's good, Don?
Yo, you can hear me, BJ?
You sound a little low. You gotta speak a little bit into the mic.
Can you hear me now?
Still low.
Can you hear me now?
Still low.
Hold on. Hello?
Yeah.
Hold on, BJ. Hold on.
That was perfect right there. That was perfect right there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, so to the brother, what was his name that was talking before the last one that you just mentioned?
Taz.
To Taz, my brother, I want to give you a motherfucking high five, man. Somebody has finally figured it out. what I've been telling BJ, and BJ will tell you, the problem with Golden State was, we all remember, they always had a legitimate 5 down low. Pause. But even if they lacked size, we all remember their backcourt was the best shooting in history. So that shooting was able to blow you out alone. I've been saying, BJ will tell you this, bro. I'm glad somebody finally fucking acknowledged it. A lot of these teams fell in love with small ball, bro. A lot of them did. And if you look at the ones that fell in love with it, they never won shit. Remember, James Harden with Houston. Who else? Who the fuck else? Boston in the beginning. Boston really didn't win until they figured out the Porzingis shit. Once they figured out Porzingis, they realized, oh shit, we supposed to clog the lane with a big guy, have a center down there, and then we could just dominate. I've been waiting for Lawrence Frank to figure that out for almost 6 years, bro. Yo, do you know how bad we pause? Let me say it again, bro. Ride fucking Zubac. I'm surprised this nigga's not shot in the dirt by now. We literally depend on this man to eat, sleep, breathe, and shit and shelter, bro. There's never nothing we don't depend on for this dude. And then the worst part about it is, yo, the dude comes back and he's not better year after year. Don't get me wrong, like, yo, I respect his triple doubles. I respect his game, but he doesn't. His defense is still shaky to me. Guarding the perimeter is still an issue. He hasn't developed a consistent jump shot at the top of the key, let alone from behind the three-point line. And I'm going to be real, bro. Like, when he wants to be a passing big man, yo, the nigga's official. I've seen the nigga call the offense, nigga cut, he throw the ball, boom, nigga dunk it. I don't know why nobody not telling him, yeah, play like that. Yeah, just like that. No one's saying that. They keep allowing this nigga to go down low, which is, here's the truth. I tell everybody, you know why Joel Embiid was always hurt? Because he played too much like a center. When he played more like a guard, he was more healthier. That's why Jokic plays like a guard like that. When you play like a center, you getting fucked up down there, bro. They whooping your ass. Like, so it takes a toll on your body. So with him being able to play, them being able to play like guards, is less strain on their body, and it's still, they still could be heavily involved into the game with decision making. So that's what I've always wanted Jokic to turn into. As far as like, you know, everything else that you were saying, we had, all right, we had a Draymond Green. We did. We had Patrick Beverly. But the truth was, I don't know, whatever reason they got rid of him, he wasn't really a legit point guard. He wasn't. But his defense is what kept us afloat. So, you know, we were able to, you know, squeeze by with a couple games, you know, manage to pull wins out. But I do agree. I think the game has gone far away from small ball at this point. Yo, bro, even if we look at Minnesota, how did Minnesota beat the Nuggets last year? Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. Minnesota, I keep telling people, Minnesota don't have much size as people think. I mean, Denver don't have much size as people think. They may look like they're big, but they really not that big. Michael Porter Jr. is like 6'7", like 6'8", 6'9". But Michael Porter Jr., let's be clear, he's not really a factor. Because he's not, Michael Porter, in my opinion, is another Klay Thompson. He's not going to beat his man off the dribble. He's just going to spot up and shoot all day, which could be deadly, but he's not the same guy he once was 2-3 seasons ago. So we know that already. Jokic is, I think, like 7-something, but if you have another big man in there, you can stop him. Like, for some reason in Game 7, they got away from the idea of blowing up the Nuggets offense before it got started. If you go watch 6, you'll see a pattern of before he got comfortable, we will blow up their offense. So James Harden would see it coming, direct the nigga, yo, go that way. And before the pass come, they was either intercepting it or before he got to his spot, it was 2 or 3 niggas there already waiting for him. So of course, they're gonna have to push the ball out. I don't know what made them get away from that. For whatever reason, the Jeff Van Gundy defense, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That shit was, I ain't gonna say it was fraudulent, but in a time when we really needed it, it failed us. But it wasn't Van Gundy. It was more so the guys that we had. I don't know if they got away from the game plan. That's why, like I was telling BJ, during Game 7, if you remember, there was no media workouts. There was no nothing. So we couldn't see where these guys' heads was at. We didn't know what was going on in niggas' minds. At least with the media workouts, you get to interview and you get to see, like, you get not a clear depiction, but you get a understanding, like, this is where their heads might be. Pause. So you could be like, they might come out this way, they might come out that way. The truth is, I think, as crazy as it might sound, the Clippers did play well in Game 7. They did. If you go watch the beginning, the Nuggets gave us every opportunity to seize that game. The truth is, if you go watch the tape, James Harden was a no-show. James Harden did nothing. If you really sit there and watch that shit, you're going to be like, yo, where the fuck is James Harden at? Everybody else looked like they were here. Where the fuck was Harden? That nigga was gone. So I think if I'm the Clippers, you try to get off of him this summer, or if you can't get off of him, which is, I don't think so, because James got a player option, bro. He's going to exercise that player option. No one's going to walk away from that. I think that's like a couple, a big, large number of M's. So you're not about to let that go. I think you try to get size. It's going to be hard, of course, but you got to do what you got to do. I think you can try to, because I think the Clippers will be fine if they got a legit power forward, but a tall power forward. You need size in there with Zubac. Take some of the pressure off Zubac. Like you got to do that. You got to get another superstar, but spacing and playmaking and scoring is important. Problem is, who gives you that right now? That you probably can afford. The Derrick Jones Jr. nigga, you thought you were getting something in him, which is I don't know what the fuck they thought with that. But this is just Frank with these bullshit, Mad Kimness in the kitchen, wild hair motherfucker just coming up with experiments. And it's like, yo, bro, we can't play experimental basketball. You even know what you're doing or you don't. I've always told people he snaked Doc Rivers out the job. If you go look at the team, ever since Doc Rivers left, team never been good. They've been great, but they've been somewhat mediocre in the time that it matters, or Kawhi's been hurt. So it's like the only person that really knew how to build around him was Masai Ujiri. That was the only nigga that understood what Kawhi needed to win. He traded all of them niggas and got better pieces, and that nigga won that year. So it's like he hasn't won since then. I think you get the correct GM in, get the right pieces, the Clippers could be on to doing something. I think letting Paul George walk was stupid, but I understand why they did it. But you could have convinced them to take 100, and then whatever was left over, you could have used that to work on the roster. But they didn't do it that way. You let him walk. James Harden got $70 million, which is $35 per year, which didn't fucking make sense to me. But okay, whatever, fine. But where's the rest of the unallocated funds go? Because there was a lot of money left on that table. So you signed Derrick Jones Jr. to 30. Okay, so that's already 100 and something between him and this nigga, Derrick Jones Jr. right there. So you blew 100 and something million on two guys that's just not good. Not gonna say James Harden ain't good because he's elite playmaking, and he still could score during the regular season. But the regular season is not what you need. You need the playoffs. So I think we needed a guy that was going to take the pressure off Kawhi and Harden. I don't want to talk about Norman Powell. I told BJ I wish everybody get off his fucking hype train. That nigga ain't nothing but a off the bench scorer. You know, kudos, niggas respect you, but you're nothing more, nothing less, my guy. Like, we're not gonna act like you're better than what we know you are. We're not. So I don't know where we go from here. I don't. I'd say blow it up. In my heart, I want to say, yo, blow this shit up. But I know Steve Ballmer's not gonna do it. So we're gonna be stuck with Lawrence Frank, and we just gotta hope he make the correct moves, which probably won't happen because he's a bargain GM. He's not gonna pay top dollars. So I don't know.
Yeah. Let me get to Monty. BJ? Appreciate it. Let me get to Monty. What's good, Monty?
Man, what's up? Salute to everybody on the panel. Salute to the chat, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share my man BJ channel. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share my channel, the Crunch Time Podcast. Don, what's up, bro? I don't know if he hopped off, but Don, what's up, Taz? What's up, man? I need y'all boys' numbers, man.
Shit, what's going on, Monty?
I need y'all boys' numbers, man. It's all love, man. I need y'all. I got T Sweezy number. I need y'all niggas' numbers, man. Hey,
yo, Monty, put your
answer, nigga.
Yo, Monty, put your. Yeah. This is what we could do, cause you can't put your number in this shit. Put your email in the chat box.
I got you.
No, he can do it. He can do it in the private chat. He can put it in the private chat. Everybody not gonna see it. Only the people.
Oh, I bet I got you. Cause Don, I really need your number, bro. I realize I fuck with y'all, bro. Like realize real genuine energy on this panel. You feel me? And that's why I ain't gonna lie. Just to start it off for you, that's why I was so happy to be a Clipper fan when Russ joined the team last year. Cause I felt the real energy from BJ. I felt like he was breaking down everything, the way he was breaking down everything in the team, and just the energy with the team. I was just liking it because it was an up and coming team that never had a championship. That wanted to do something great. I felt like last year was the best window for them to do something great, man. You feel me? And I think this year y'all found the recipe with Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all do need to keep him, out a little bit to probably December, January. Not saying that he don't need to play the games, but I'm just saying that recipe worked because he finished the season healthy. I feel like people that did that the season before, we probably went to the finals or the Western Conference Finals with Kawhi. The way he finished this series and the way, you know what I'm saying, he finished the season, I feel like we probably were all 4 guys, 4 Hall of Famers with Norman Powell, you know what I'm saying? But this year, I feel like y'all problem was y'all didn't have a full or a backup big to Zubac, like Don mentioned. You feel me? Zoo, he kind of was holding down the fort a lot on his own. And you gotta give credit to Zoo. He got better this year. He was a very dominant player. He probably was a top 5 center this year, man. But Lawrence Frank, he's not making the right moves for the Clippers, in my opinion. I don't think he's making the right moves as far as acquisitions, trades, and things just to put around Kawhi. If you got a top 5 player in Kawhi when he's healthy, why are you not putting around a championship team to compete? The window is open. The window is open to win a championship, y'all. I'm just letting you know. If you look at the teams, the 4 teams that's in the Western Conference, Minnesota, Denver, OKC, and Golden State. Golden State wasn't in it last year, but Dallas was in it last year. So it's around the same teams. And Eastern Conference is the Pacers, Cleveland, Boston, and the Knicks. Those are the same teams that was in the playoffs last year, the last 4. So it's only a couple teams that's really trying to win a championship. So you like Don said, they found the answer with Porzingis. But that's basketball though, bro. That's why I don't understand why the league is going away from big men. That's basketball. That's naturally basketball. You need a center, you need a power forward, you need a small forward, you need a shooting guard, you need a point guard, point blank. The only team that could play that small ball is the Warriors. That's the only team. And the reason why they could play like that because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they made up a lot of shit with they shooting. You get what I'm saying? They the greatest shooting backcourt ever. They made up a lot with the shooting. They was playing small ball with Bogut, Draymond at the 4, Iguodala at the 3, you know what I'm saying? Or KD at the 3. They made a lot up with the shooting and scoring and the fast break and the type of scoring runs they was going on. So that's the type of team that I feel like the only team that really could perfected that small ball. You seen the Lakers, they got their ass gentlemen swept by the Timberwolves because they try to play small ball. It's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's still basketball, bro. You need all 5 positions. I think Lawrence Frank need to find a way to get a power forward, get Kawhi back in that 3 spot, man. Let him get comfortable, let him get healthy in the offseason, yeah. But I don't know. I think y'all do need to make a decision with James Harden. Can he give y'all them type of performances in Game 7? 7 points, that's not enough, Don. Taz, T Sweezy, BJ, that's not enough, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think y'all do gotta make a decision with James Harden and the decision with the bench. Who y'all gonna keep? You know what I'm saying? I do think y'all need to trade Norman Powell. Y'all need to get off him. So I mean, I just think it's a lot the organization need to do. I mean, he been making bad decisions since CP3, Blake, Jamal Crawford was there, JJ and them, like since Lob City. They done had the teams. You feel me? I feel like since Lob City, they done had the team. It's just been bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? You see the shit with Russ. You see the shit with Blake, Patrick Beverly. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just, the shit is backfiring on y'all. That's how I feel, man. But it's all love to y'all, man. I just want to let y'all boys know that, dog.
For sure, Monty. I agree 100%. This is all coming from the top. This ain't because if it was coming from the players and every player, no matter who they put in here, it's always the same result. So it's got to come from the top. But they ain't changed the top yet. They ain't changed the top yet.
It's coming. It's definitely coming from the top, and it got to be changes. Changes got to be made, man. I just think changes got to be made, and not to just keep speaking on the Denver and the Clippers shirt, but I think that's what got us, new life, new energy by getting Mike Malone and Christian and Booth out of there, because it was just bad energy, man. They was arguing. And they was arguing about who they want to play and this and that and the third. You feel me? And it wasn't working. You feel me? And for Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, and Jokic, for them to be out on Mike Malone, they won a championship with him. I feel as though that's crazy. Like, that's crazy work. You feel me? How y'all win a championship and then now it's just all of a sudden y'all not listening to what he got to say. And then now Mike Adams, he coming in here and he doing what he got to do in the playoffs. He's showing what he could be in the coach. And for Tyronn Lue, and I'm going to put this on a footprint for all the Clippers fans to know, for him to get out coached from a coach that only coached like 10 games, to me is crazy work. That is crazy work. You supposed to be a championship coach. You understand? You hear me? A championship coach. And he only won a championship because he had a top 2 player in the world in LeBron James. He had Kyrie Irving. He had Kevin Love. He had a full roster. That's the only reason why Tyronn Lue was even in the finals, a coach and all that. Tyronn Lue is not shown that he's a championship coach. I keep trying to tell people this, man. Like, real life, y'all need to get rid of that man, for real. I don't know what they see at Tyronn Lue. He's not a Hall of Fame coach. He's not none of that, bro. He's not none of that. How you get out-coached by Jason Kidd last year, and you get out-coached by Mike Adams this year, first round exit? All 3 back to back. Come on, man. It sounds like excuses. Get that man out of there.
When I can go, BJ.
Go ahead, T.
Hold on, give me a sec.
Looking ass, he just asked.
Niggas, boy.
He just came back to
T Sweezy.
Hey, T Sweezy, he just came to you twice. You missed the first one. Then you said, "Can I go?" Oh, hold on, bro. Come on, T Sweezy, stop it, boy.
Yeah, get your stuff together, bro.
Yeah. Hey, BJ, do you think DeJounte Murray trade would be pretty good, man?
BJ, you can hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
That's you, Taz. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead, T.
I was gonna say, I'm very disappointed in y'all. You know what I'm saying? This Denver Nuggets team is not what they used to be. I don't think they're gonna beat the Thunder. I think they're gonna lose in 6 games. Y'all had the opportunity to prove it.
You crazy as hell,
Y'all was healthy. You know what I'm saying? No excuses. Like
Sweezy, you went
y'all,
out. You
you
went
hear me?
out, bro. Yeah, we can
You
hear you
hear me?
now. Yeah, you went out for a
Yeah,
second
go
because
ahead.
you was talking a bunch of bullshit. You went out.
Go ahead, T.
You hear me?
Yeah.
It's crazy how y'all had Denver right in your hand and y'all wasn't able to sustain the lead, or you know what I'm saying? Like y'all let guys like uh, Murray, Gordon. I told y'all Gordon was gonna be big. I kept sleeping on him. Russ, because Russ won them like at least 2 games. You know what I'm saying? Harden, shit. Miles did keep saying I don't trust Harden in Game 7, and you know Miles is right. You know what I'm saying? Um, Kawhi, he had 21 points, but it was meaningless. He didn't do enough. Zubac, he was the only one that I could say that actually held it down. You know what I mean? Zubac, he wasn't the best player in this series, but he was one of the best players. You feel me? I think Zubac, I think Zubac could be an all-league defender. You know what I'm saying? If he keep this play up, Zubac developed his game. He's one of the best defenders in his league. I like what I'm saying for Zubac. Zubac could easily average 20 and 10 if he's under the right coaching and under the right system. Kawhi, I like Kawhi and all that shit, but he's not what he used to be. Him and Harden, like, how much longer are you gonna keep like? How much longer does Kawhi need? You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a bunch of good teams. Joker had a trash. This Denver Nuggets team was trash, and y'all couldn't beat them. Y'all could have easily beat these niggas in 6 games.
Hey, T
But
Sweezy, what's trash though, bro? I don't understand. Like,
they roster
what do you consider like? I hear
outside
you,
of
like you my bro. Like I fuck with
outside of
you.
Westbrook and Peyton Watson,
But
the roster is trash on the
what's
bench.
trash? Like I mean,
Y'all Clippers are 9-10 man deep.
I feel that. I hear you. You said they 9 or 10 deep and they lost in 7 games, bro. So I'm trying to figure out. You said, oh, this Nuggets team is trash, but we only have like an 8-man rotation. You feel me? It's not like we really going deep to the bench after DeAndre Jordan and Peyton Watson and Russ. That's really, you get what I'm saying? It's a star 5 plus them 3. You feel me? Which is an 8-man rotation in the playoffs. In the playoffs is an 8 to 9 man rotation. I mean, I feel you, I get you, but
Yeah.
OKC, they're mighty young. You feel me? And we seen them lose in the second round to Dallas last year, so we ain't
Yeah.
gonna act like it can't happen again. You know what I mean? That's a bad matchup for Hardenstein. Hardenstein
Yeah.
ain't Zubac. You know what I'm saying? Chet ain't Zubac. You feel me? I feel like it's a tough matchup for OKC, in my opinion.
But no, like I was saying though, man, like Clippers haven't been out the first round in like 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Um, like he like he like what bro was saying. I forgot bro's name, the Chicago dude. No, when Kawhi was on the Raptors, that team was the #1 seed. Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year. They won 63 games that year. The only problem is they couldn't beat LeBron. You know what I'm saying? They lost to the Cavs, and they got swept. You feel me? Every time Kyle Lowry and DeRozan see LeBron, they fold. Feel me? But that team was good though. You feel me? But like y'all could see after Kawhi got hurt in 2021, he wasn't the same no more. You know what I'm saying? But y'all don't have no draft picks, so I don't know what Clippers go at from here. Before we got Drew Holiday, he did want to come to y'all, but y'all wasn't serious. Y'all didn't offer no draft capital. Y'all wanted to keep James Harden. Because y'all used all y'all draft picks for James Harden. Y'all could have used that to got Holiday.
Man, that would have been a big one right there. Yep.
But well, my fault. What I was gonna say. But yeah, though. But yeah, I feel what BJ was saying though. Yeah, I'd rather have a two-way guard than just an offensive threat. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got enough defenders. You feel me? So Damian Lillard could work with y'all, but he injury prone. I'd rather go after like Trae Young or somebody.
That's not a two-way. You going Trae Young? That's way small. First, that's way smaller than James Harden. That's way smaller. Nah, I get that an offensive threat, but that's a defensive liability too. That's from what BJ was saying. That's James Harden and Trae Young. It's a kind of the same style of play. It's kind of the same style of play, but Trae, he is younger. He is starting league. You feel me? He will bring hype to LA. You feel me? But nah, I don't think y'all should. I think you BJ right. Y'all need a two-way player.
I would.
And that player was Paul George. You know what
I would have. Yeah, I would love Paul back. But if we can't get Paul back, I would love DeJounte Murray. Taz, I would love DeJounte Murray.
Yo, did anybody watch this exit interview with this nigga BJ?
That's what I was talking about.
Bro, I can't stand this fucking nigga, man.
Hold on, let me get Skills back in real quick.
Hey Don, who you talking about? You talking about James Harden? Who you talking about?
Fuck Lawrence Frank. He did it. I'm listening to his exit interview.
Yeah. Let me get Skills on real quick. And,
what it do, BJ?
My bad, BJ. I wasn't done.
What's up, Skills? What's up, Skills?
I got a call.
What it do, Monte? Salute to your Denver Nuggets, man. Salute to y'all, man.
You already know it. Hey, my number in the chat, Skills. Hey, I need you to hit me up. You hear me?
BJ,
no, I got you. Right, I'm trying to cover this shit right now. But to BJ point though, bro, we need to clean house, bro. We need to start with T. Lue. He need to be gone. I'm surprised this man even still got a job. He would have been fired immediately for me. And Lawrence Frank, we need to get him up out of there too. And we need to shake up the team too, bro. Anybody not named Kawhi Leonard, Zubac, or what's my guy name? Nicholas Batum. Shit, they can go. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't mind getting Paul George back, but I would want to try to keep some of the nucleus of the team. Like I wouldn't want to give up. Like if we could get Paul George back, but just give up James Harden and maybe like I would even be cool with a Norman Powell. If we could give up like a James Harden and a Norman Powell, and that would equal out to a Paul George contract, I would be cool with something like that. But I wouldn't want to butcher the team too much to get Paul George back because I've seen the Paul George experiment for 3-4 years, just like I've seen the Kawhi Leonard experiment, and I know what to expect from that tandem. Like they good when they on the floor, but it seems like with them they got bad juju when they together. One of them always end up getting hurt. So I ain't just in a rush to run back to that, but I would be okay with it if it made sense. As far as James Harden is concerned, man, he fooled me for the last time. For the last time, bro, he fooled me. You know what I mean? Like I've seen him have these all-worldly performances in the regular season, year after year. And it seemed like he always gives me the same thing when we get to the playoffs. Now part of that, me looking at their bodies, me looking at their minutes and shit that they've been logging the whole season. Part of that, and I've been screaming this all season. Part of that is, we ran him to the ground. Somebody else said something earlier about they surprised that Zubac ain't hurt or tired, and I'm surprised too because Zubac played hella minutes this year as well. And maybe only missed 2 or 3 games. And I knew, them logging them minutes up like that was going to come back to affect them at some point. I just didn't think it would be the way that it did in the game 7 like that. But I've seen everything I need to see. I don't need to really see no more. James Harden can go, Now the question is when he goes, who are we replacing him with? And that's a good question because I look across the league and I don't really see a lot of, two-way point guards that's going to defend at a high level, but then also set the table and then give you a little bit of scoring as well. That seems like it's something that's hard to find in the league. So even if we got off James Harden, I'm really not 100% sure who we will replace him with. But something else I want people to understand too is, I don't like Lawrence Frank, but he did make one good point where, the Clippers is going to be a hot destination in the offseason. You know, I don't know why y'all don't think it is. They got the new stadium. It's La La Land. It's in LA. Beautiful weather, beautiful women. Like, it is a sought after destination. And, you know, Kawhi is not LeBron James. People don't mind playing with Kawhi. You know what I mean? Like, people will come play with Kawhi. So I do think people will come there. My only concern I have is we got to clear space for those people because I want the right people. I want a legitimate second option. I want a second option so good that we have debates about who is the first option, whether it's Kawhi or whoever we bring in. Like, I want a legitimate superstar, somebody that I know is going to show up, you know. But I've seen enough out of James Harden. I don't need to see no more. You know what I mean? I don't need to see no more. He's nothing. He won't ever fool me again. There's nothing he can say in a press conference. There's nothing that he could do in the regular season that's going to make me change my mind. At this point, I know who you are. I've seen it too many times. So, you know, for me, BJ, we can clean house. If you're not Kawhi Zubac or Nicholas Batum, I really ain't got no loyalty to you. You can go.
That was a good statement, bro. My bad, BJ.
I agree. Yeah, like, and BJ, did you answer the question about DeJounte?
Yeah, I would love DeJounte.
He said he'd take him, but I think he hurt. I think he hurt right now. I think he hurt right now. He back now? Oh, he might be back now. But I think New Orleans, I don't think they trying to get off him. They got him and Zion. I don't think they even trying to get off him.
Yeah, like Skill said, it ain't too many in the league right now that's gonna be giving us defense with a little bit of offense and playmaking at the same time.
Right. I mean, it's not really that many point guards in the league that really, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of offensive point guards or pass first point guards, but I think y'all do need to focus on the draft. I think building through the draft is a big thing for franchises. Some franchises miss out on that, but I think building through the draft is big, man. You know,
I don't think they got a pick to 2029 or 30.
Oh, damn, for real? Yeah, see, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
What you say, Dom? What you say?
Yo, I just listened to his exit interview, BJ. I can't, bro. I can't with this nigga. BJ, this nigga says I'm optimistic in running it back with him and James again. Why, my nigga?
Jesus.
I already said that.
Why, my nigga? Why? Like,
that's why he got to go, bro. He got to go. Him and Tito, they both can go, bro.
Did y'all hear what Kawhi said when they asked him that? Did y'all hear what Kawhi said?
Yo, yeah, Kawhi was like, I don't know.
BJ, that's what Kawhi. It don't matter what nobody else said but Kawhi. Kawhi said they asked him how he feel about running back about James, and they said how he hit them together with the seat. Kawhi said he felt like the team held it together defensively. That's what kept them. You know what I'm saying? He said James played a role, but he said he don't know.
This nigga talking about if he don't pick up his player option. My bad, Monty. My fault to cut you off. If he don't pick up his player option, he's interested in renegotiating the contract. What a 37-year-old fucking James Harden, bro.
Man,
I mean, he might Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue, they like Harden. They love James. Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank, they love James Harden, bro.
BJ, I don't know, bro.
I'll never forget this, bro.
Kawhi gonna ask for a trade. He keep playing with
bro. He gonna listen to me. If they re-sign James Harden, I won't be surprised if Kawhi do ask for a trade. Bro, imagine going to war and the guy that's supposed to be your right hand man gives you 7 points, my guy. He gives you 7 points in an elimination game. Like, bro, it ain't nothing you can add, nothing you can ever say to me ever again after that. Like, bro, you ain't even show up. Bro, if I'm only scoring 7 points, then I ain't gonna have no more fouls left. I'm taking somebody out the game with me. I'm doing something to help my team out. I'm doing something to help my team out, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and that shit was trash, but that shit was inexcusable because I would never want to go to war with somebody like that. Ever.
Hey, Skills, the nigga been on 4 different teams in game 7 and lost all 4 of them on 4 different teams.
That's why he would never fool me again, bro. He would never fool me again, bro.
And what's worse than that, Monty, not only on all 4 of those teams, that he lost in the game 7. He lost in the game 7 in the exact same fashion on all 4 different teams. No.
The same way, bro. The same way, bro. Looking for the fouls. And that's what kills me, bro. He acting like, they're gonna give him the foul this year versus the last couple of years when he was in a game 7. Like, bro, when you're in the playoffs, bro, game 7, game 6, playoffs in general, the game slows down, physicality raises up, bro. It's just a part of it. Like the ref's not gonna be calling that tick and tack shit.
I will say this: he was hurt in Brooklyn.
Man, he
He wasn't
was
playing
hurt.
again.
We don't give
He
a fuck
was
about
hurt.
that.
He was hurt in Brooklyn, but it was other situations where he did the same thing. You feel me? Like he left Paul George hanging last year too in the playoffs. Like you feel me? So
He
yeah, I
did that.
don't know. I
He
don't
did
know,
that.
man. I don't know.
Hey,
Y'all
Monty.
got
Paul
some
George didn't
decision
help him out
makers.
either,
BJ,
though. I ain't gonna
That
lie.
was the last of
What
prime
up?
James Harden when
yo,
he was on
look,
Brooklyn.
this
What
is what
up?
I'm gonna need you to do if you can. BJ, I don't give a fuck if we gotta offer this nigga money. I'll put money on my own account, bro. Can you get an interview with this nigga Law, bro? But like personal, my nigga. Like, and ask this nigga, do he really think, like, yo, do you think this rock, like, yo, because the way he sound, it sound like to me he was on some, it doesn't work. Why can't you not see that? It's not, nothing is working. That's what it sounds like Law was trying to get at to me, where he was getting ready to go, well, how many years are we going to keep having the same thing? Something has to change, obviously. But he never, I don't know what it is. If they scared to ask him, my first question would have been, so what's going on next year with roster moves? Because we keep making the same decisions over and over. So at what point are we going to look at this and go, maybe it's just not working? Listen, if they blow it up, I'm fine with that. Completely. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling all y'all on this panel, I admire Lawrence Frank's loyalty to Kawhi Leonard. I do. Because you don't find that in the NBA no more. But your loyalty is also a hindrance as well. Because you're not building correctly. So I'm interested to understand, what do these niggas think behind the scenes about this cat, bro? This was the same shit we had with Paul George. Oh, I believe in these guys. I believe in this. Yo, I'm telling y'all right now, I don't know how y'all feel. I don't want Harden going into 26-27 season. I'm not interested, bro. Like, I don't want to watch this nigga no more. I just don't.
And that's big what Don just said, right? He just said we don't know how they really feel behind closed doors. Like he get up and say, "Oh, we love James Harden," but look at the way they treated Paul George, and look at the negotiations and the off season. That was a big thing on Podcast P. That was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? That whole contract situation going into the season, and then now look at the type of roster y'all had. That was big. He could have got that negotiation done. Could have offered the 150, the same money from Kawhi, instead of the James Harden money. You know what I'm saying? He could have offered that from the beginning, and shit probably could have been good. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think it's bad negotiations from the start, man. Lawrence Frank don't know how to negotiate.
And I really don't think it's all peaches and cream behind the scenes too, bro. Like that Clippers team that we saw game 7 against Denver, that's not a team that's in sync. That wasn't a team where everybody was rocking with each other and everybody was locked in on the same page. Bro, there's some shit that ain't clean. You know what I mean? And we might not know what it is right now. It may start to come out in the next couple of weeks, in the next month, but that wasn't a team where everybody was vibing with each other, locked in, all on one accord, all trying to get the W. It looked like everybody had their own agendas. Motherfuckers' mind was all over the place. And bro, I never forget that this nigga showed up and gave us 7 points. I never forget that. Nobody want to ever be able to make me see nothing no different. You showed up in a game 7 and gave us 7 points, my guy, with 8 shot attempts. That shit is trash.
I don't think they came.
Law, it's done. It's done. It's done. He gonna come on this week. I just asked him.
Yes, bro. Like,
you a real nigga, BJ. God damn.
Yeah. Salute to you, BJ.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
No personal conversation over the phone. He can't lie to you over the phone, bro. You know he can't. But on this shit, he doesn't know who's listening, so he's not gonna keep it real. But over that phone, like how me and you talk, You know he could be like, I don't think so either. I
But
don't.
how is
But
that gonna help? How is that gonna help y'all if y'all don't hear it? So what you want me to tell? You want me to tell y'all what he said over the phone?
but I'm gonna tell you why, BJ. Why you would have to do it that way? He's not gonna come up here and say, "Yo, the nigga need to go." Like he can't say that because in his mind, he thinking, "I don't know who's listening to this shit. They hear that shit, it might be over for me." But I think over the phone, he'll give you his real spill, like because it's just you and him. He can't lie to you.
He already done told me stuff behind the scene already. If y'all
What he
want
told
to
you?
know that,
Yeah, I was about to say that'll compromise Law's position where he's at right now. So I wouldn't
but I
recommend it.
won't do that if that's gonna mess up his position. But I mean, if y'all
Exactly.
wanna come to me individually, like call me or something, I could tell y'all. But I ain't finna put that man on out here like that's the biggest beat writer of the team, bro. I can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Facts.
Bro, somebody.
I see where you coming from, though. I see where you coming from, because I swear, like you said, somebody do need to be held accountable right now.
What the fuck is going on, bro? Yo, and this nigga just sitting there just talking. No one said to this nigga, "Yo, bro, you step down, my nigga." Like, try to get a different player advisor. Like, we don't care if you're doing that, but roster decisions. What the Steve Ballmer, my nigga. Like, I don't know, man. What the fuck is wrong with this?
I mean, I don't think Steve Ballmer, he don't make the decisions, do he, BJ, or do Lawrence Frank make the acquisitions, right? Either GM, right?
Steve Ballmer just a figurehead, bro.
Steve Ballmer keep playing this nigga. Like, bro,
Right. Nah, I get you. He do keep paying this nigga. He shouldn't keep paying this nigga. You feel me? Because I just think, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all came up in game 7. I don't think y'all came to play. Y'all didn't come to play, bro. Like, nobody came with Kawhi, bro. Kobe, it's no reason why Kobe Brown should be the second leading scorer behind Kawhi in the game 7,
That's
bro.
crazy. I didn't even know that, bro. That is crazy, dog.
That's okay. You can ask BJ. You can
No,
ask him, bro.
Muncie tells the truth, bro. Cause Zubac only had 10. James Harden had 7. Norm had 9. But the second leading scorer after Kawhi was Kobe Brown.
Right. And Ty Lue, he got out coached, right? But it was kind of a smart game plan in a
Monty,
way.
I'm gonna interrupt you, Monty. When y'all want Law to come on?
whenever he can, bro. Whenever he can, whenever
No,
he
he
free.
asked me to tell me when he wants to come. He leaving up to me.
Nah, Tyler, he a good dude, man. He gonna keep it real.
Yo,
But
wait. What you said, BJ?
Friday, cool. Friday, cool, man.
Friday.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, Wednesday's fine. Wednesday's fine.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. That worked for me.
Yeah, any day for me, man. I can make myself available.
All right. Wednesday. I got y'all.
That's what's up, BJ. I doubt he finna tell me something that I already don't know. The writing on the wall, cuz it's been on the wall for a minute. You know what I mean?
The facts.
Yeah, if y'all want to call me or text me or whatever, I could tell y'all, but y'all here, nah.
No. I know. You didn't want to fuck up his speed. That's what I was saying.
BJ, you know I'm about to call you when
Can't
this
link
shit
a
is over,
personal
bro.
phone call. Yeah, because you don't know who watching.
This shit is wild, bro.
But nah, I wasn't done what I was saying though. I could go?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, man. I've been stopped believing the Clippers like right after around 2023. That's when I gave up on the Clippers. I'm like, man, that's no point, man. Clippers, they're a great regular season team, but they can't win the big one. You know what I'm saying? When it comes when it comes down to the game being down, when it comes down to the game being on the line, it's always some BS. You know what I'm saying? It's not Owen Harden. Other niggas is fucking up too. You know what I'm saying?
Like
So you
who?
can't, huh?
Like who?
What's that nigga on your bench? What's the nigga name? I know Zubac was consistent. Batum didn't show up game 7.
Okay.
What's the other guy? Who's on y'all bench again?
Bogey. Talking about Bogdanovich.
Chris Dunn, Bogey. Who else? Kawhi, he didn't do enough to get it done.
I mean, Kawhi. I mean, you gotta look
You
at
mean Norman Powell?
You gotta look at the game from a totality. You can't say Kawhi ain't doing enough. Kawhi only did what he could, bro. You feel me? Like they had a game plan that really didn't. Ty Lue had a game plan that really didn't work. He wanted to take Jamal Murray and Jokic out of the game. He wanted to make others beat them, and which is smart. You feel me? You take Jokic, you take Jamal Murray out of the game, and you gonna make others beat you. You feel me? So saying that, you feel me? Michael Porter, Christian Brown, Russ, like you feel me? It was Aaron Gordon, it was other players that successfully did that, you know. Everybody scored in the way they needed to score. You feel me? But you know, I just think y'all needed a better coach, man. There's no way Tyronn Lue gets out coached by Adam. There's no way. I think Adam is a good coach, but there's no way. But you know, I like I said, you feel me? Lawrence Frank is not making the right decision when it comes to y'all roster and construction. He came in the season with one big man, which is Zoo. He went to go get Eubanks, but Eubanks, who like he ain't even get to play for real. Like he ain't even get the flow, get in the game. Y'all was too small, bro. Batum, he good. Like Batum, don't get me wrong, I like Batum, but he passed his heyday. His good days is gone by, bro. You know what I'm saying? He about to be 37 years old.
Yeah, man. Batum's cool, but we can do better.
Yeah, y'all could do better. Like you feel me? So you know, I knew y'all was going. Y'all went in this season with one big man with Zoo. So I don't know, man. I think
Let's look at
clean house.
Let's look at the free agents that are available. I mean, if y'all want to see the free agents.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me show y'all what y'all working with this year. See what's available. So, all right. So let me go through the list. I want y'all to look and see what y'all think. James Harden's a free agent. Obviously, y'all want him out of here. James Harden. LeBron.
We all know he's staying.
Yeah, I don't think y'all want him.
Yeah, I think we're good on that one, bro.
He's staying in LA. He not going nowhere, bro.
Julius Randle.
I wouldn't mind that. Not even gonna lie.
Skills, Dom. Y'all there?
That'd be a good pickup for y'all. If y'all was to pick up Julius Randle, that'd be a good pickup.
Yeah, bro. I'm here.
What you think about Julius Randle?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I loved him when he played for my Knicks. I wouldn't mind it.
He has a player option. He got a player option.
Yeah, and the only thing that'll ruin that is the Wolves find a way to get into the championship, man.
Yeah, I think he's staying in Minnesota.
From scheduling to service,
Yeah.
we've made the process easy. So you can get in, get out, and get back to what matters.
Hey, somebody watching a late night sitcoms, man.
Trained to tackle the toughest jobs to keep your
Yeah,
team running smoothly.
somebody got to.
Visit our service department today. Just a short drive.
Hey, somebody got to cut the volume down. Yeah, that's somebody volume. So Julius Randle, because we looking for we looking for a backup big or power forward? Like, what's the priority right now?
Y'all need a power forward, and I would say both. Y'all need a power forward and a backup big, bro.
Power forward, backup big, and a defensive point of attack guy that can run the point guard.
All right. So what's most important from 1 to 3? So power forward, backup big, or what about 2 or co-star? Because if you get a co-star who fits, you know, let's say you get let's just use this as an example. Let's say you get rid of James Harden, you bring in Kyrie. I know that's not going to probably happen, but I'm just saying, for example, you get a scorer, obviously a more mentally tougher player and better in the postseason, but you got to deal with possibly him missing part of the year. So what is the from 1 to 3, what's the most important thing for the Clippers to get?
Ooh,
So I know we're looking for.
That's a good fucking question.
I'm going with a power forward first because going forward, I really don't want the wide four. I want the 3. So we need to secure a 4 first thing smoke. That need to be first thing we do.
All right, so we need a. All right, so let's go. Let's do this.
I would say three things y'all need to solidify second option. That would be the first thing on the books: a powerful and a backup center. That should be y'all 3 things that y'all should be looking for. Because James Harden, I think he should be on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? Or he the third option. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need another option. Y'all need 3. Y'all need a solidified second option. James Harden, he's not him. And you got KD supposed to be getting traded. James, Ja Morant supposed to be getting traded. So it's a lot going on.
Yeah, go ahead, T.
I was gonna say, hey, BJ, you know what's so crazy? I was gonna bring up Julius Randle because he has 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, he making $31 million.
I was gonna say, BJ, what do you think about it? What do you think? Like, what if y'all sign him? Like, would you be all for it?
If I feel like we can get better, but it depends on 2 things: who plays best with Kawhi. Can Julius Randle be a second option with Kawhi? He's doing with Anthony Edwards. So does he fit with Kawhi? And also, does the money match? He's making $4 million less than Harden right now for his player option. So the books, it can match in the book. So
yeah,
if Julius Randle goes out there and plays, and they get to the finals, he's gonna get more. He's gonna get another contract. They're gonna try to match that.
Yeah, and I think Julius, he'll actually fit well beside Kawhi, because Julius is a scrappy dude, man. He's just a hard-nosed dude, a bully. And I think that's something that is actually works very well with Kawhi, because like we always say, we ain't got an enforcer. Julius can be that. We always say we need somebody to help rebound with Zubac. Julius can do that. We need somebody that can stretch the floor, that can hit mid-range shots, create their own opportunity. Julius can do that. And I don't think Julius has that big of an ego that it'll clash anywhere near Kawhi's ego. So I do think that'll be a good fit.
Yeah, Bobby Portis.
That'd be a good pickup.
Would you take him as a starter, BJ?
Nah.
Not as a starter or coming off the bench.
He'll be a 6 man.
Yeah, that's his road. He best at that road.
So that would mean for Norman Powell, pretty much.
Hey, BJ, would you take Rick Lopez?
No.
Why?
I don't want him.
Too old, man.
He's old, bro.
Defensive liability, too many cards, dog.
Yeah, bro, I don't want Brook Lopez. I think Bobby. So I would get rid of Harden and Norman Powell this offseason. If we can get a second option and a power forward, I think that will push the needle for the Clippers to be better. So John Collins is free. He has a player option. I know people have been talking about him the last few years.
What position John Collins play?
He played a 4. He played a power. He played a 4.
Yeah, he played a 4.
He'll jump before. Like, he can get up. He gonna rebound for you. He undersized, but he can rebound. He can shoot the 3 a little bit mid range. He can run the floor with Kawhi, but I think he undersized though. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all need a.
Yeah, I prefer Julius Randle and Julius Randle has playoff experience.
Yeah.
Dorian Finney-Smith.
Y'all can pass on that.
Yeah, I don't want him.
On that.
This dude, I like this dude a lot. I like Gershon Yabusele.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. I like him. And he stretches the floor. He plays big posts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? He's tough. I think he just got back in the league for real, for real.
He's a dog, bro. That's a
He's
hell
a
of a steal
dog.
for
Yeah, he's a dog.
the Sixers, man. The Sixers
He's
got
a
him for
dog.
cheap too. I think they only gave him they gave
2
him
million.
they only
2
got a
million.
2-year contract or 3.
2 years, 2 million.
That's a hell of a pickup, man. Y'all
Yeah,
got
he's a
something at these
dog.
overseas players.
Yeah, and he knows how to play. He's a high IQ player.
That's a good ass backup, man. He
And he,
definitely will be a force for y'all.
and he
He's a
really can
glass
shoot
cleaner
from
too.
three. He really can shoot from three, bro. I like Yabusele. He like that.
Yeah, man.
BJ, bro. What if y'all had that nigga next to Y, Batum, Chris Dunn?
Batum get an automatic contract for next year. His shit just Batum
Yeah,
automatic.
I'll be off Batum, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying.
mean,
I'm not saying.
I
I'm
heard
not
a couple
saying.
people say Batum on the team next year. Like,
If we can get better, like I think Batum would be a good. I would put Batum as a development coach or something. I think he would be a good development coach. No, I mean I'm serious. I think he would because
No, that's
he's a
facts.
high IQ player and he's a great locker room guy and he's been in big games. Like you need that type of leadership. But I just think the league's just getting younger, man. Like they're just getting younger. Like when I saw against Denver, bro, and that game 7 just showed me like, yeah, Batum is about 5 years ago. Yeah, he was a monster, but he's older now.
yeah, his best days is gone, man. His best days is past.
BJ, why y'all didn't keep the African
Paul
center? What's his
George,
name?
I don't know because they fucking stupid.
Who, Diabate?
Diabate? Yeah, what happened to him?
Because
He
Tyler's
with
an
Charlotte.
idiot.
He went to Charlotte. Everybody
He
let
was a free
go.
agent,
They
or
started
he
balling.
Lakers? Ty Lue on PT. What?
KPJ was balling in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? He got traded for nothing. They traded him for
BJ
nothing.
waited him off the tee.
They've been doing this for 5 years. What TC's? What's good?
I said, why you waited KPJ off the tee, BJ?
I don't know, bro. I think because I think Lawrence Frank did that.
That's what I'm saying.
Terrence Mann, they lost Terrence Mann. So Ty Lue said, or Lawrence Frank said, okay, if you don't want to play Terrence Mann, you can't keep KPJ. That's the problem.
That's
They
crazy.
not on the same. I'm telling you, they do not like each other, bro. I never see these two together at the game. They always apart.
Wait, BJ,
they don't like each other. Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue don't like each other.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Lawrence Frank is y'all president. He's the general manager, right? Or president of operations.
President of ops.
Okay, he doing the same thing Rapaliga do.
All right, look at the center. So you got Miles Turner. He making 19 mil right now. He's
that's cheap.
BJ, didn't are you talking about trading for him? Because I could have sworn they gave him a contract.
I didn't see. Well, no, he's saying he's a free agent coordinator. Unless they just gave it to him.
No, he got a contract last season.
Nas Reed got a player option.
Oh no, yeah. Nas Reed does got a player option.
I would love that pickup. I would absolutely love that pickup. I'm not even gonna lie.
Miles Turner or Nas Reed would be a good pickup. Either one of them would be a good pickup for y'all.
If that nigga leave Minnesota, he's definitely gonna be a starter.
I would take him over Norman Powell.
Yeah, they keep saying Minnesota keeps saying they got 8 starters or 7. They keep saying that. Like they keep saying they got 8 starters. Like they keep saying
Minnesota only traded because the new CBA. You know
they trying to say Nas Reed. So I think they trying to say the DiVincenzo
like
starter.
62 mil. He was making like 62 mil. So they got off him, and they also got a protected pick from Detroit. And then if Randall don't work out, his money come out the books next year. And then Gobert, he opted out his final year of his contract. So Gobert signed a 3-year. He basically signed a 2-year contract. Only his first 2 years guaranteed, and then the 3rd year it's like a team or a play option. So Gobert, his contract is not as bad. If you look at it, it's not bad. Because before, like he was making way more money. That's what hurted him.
Yeah, man. Brook Lopez making $23 million. Nah, I don't want him. Clint Capella, nah.
He making 23 million?
Yeah, he making 23 million.
God damn, Milwaukee is tripping.
I mean,
Hey,
shit, he been there since they won the chip, man.
Houston dodged a bullet not getting not signing him because he was going to go to Houston because Houston offered him the most money.
This guy
Shoot,
Morris
who-
Wagner, he has a team option. He can be a backup. He's a backup 5.
Yeah, he could
I would
shoot.
take
He could shoot. I like Mo Wagner. He could shoot too. He play big. You feel me? He cool. I like Mo Wagner, but I don't think that's a backup big. Y'all probably need like a Steven Adams. You know what I'm saying? A defensive
Nah, we
presence,
can't.
rebounds. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
But
sorry, we can't.
he
We
can't
can't get.
shoot.
We can't have two big guys that can't shoot, bro. No.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you.
I like
I
Mo
feel you.
Wagner.
I
I
feel
like
Yeah, I
him.
like
He's
Mo
stretch
too.
before.
Hey, BJ,
I
would you
like
take a
Mo
look at
Wagner.
Steven Adams? Or you don't think
Steven
Ty Lue
Adams,
gonna
nah, I'm cool off Steve. He don't fit the
Plus he-
system that we play here. Go ahead.
So
My
you
bad,
basically
Tess.
want to stretch?
Yeah, we need a stretch 5.
Mm.
Stretch 5.
Preferably a two-way stretch, a Miles Turner type.
He had a season-ending injury. He only played like 6 games last year.
Yeah.
Wagner, that's a
Yeah, but
good
he's still
backup.
young.
Yeah.
He's still young. So he got youth on his side.
Hey, BJ, so what would you do if you was Lawrence Frank and you like, okay, we got no draft picks, this not working out. We either going to have to ride it out with Kawhi and Harden, or we're going to have to just make trades and get back as much assets as possible.
You
Try to go
cutting out.
younger. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
No. I was saying, like, if you was Lawrence Frank, like what would you do? You would be like, okay, I could ride it out with Kawhi or Harden, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what, I could just go younger because, it's not working out. We don't have a first-round draft pick to 2029 or 2030. So I'm going to have to just cut the roster out just to try to go younger and get as much draft capital as possible or get young assets. Like, what would you do?
What I would do is first off, I would get off of Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue because they're not on the same page. You can't win a championship when your GM and head coach ain't on the same page, right? Like, look at Boston. Like, y'all don't have these problems. Y'all have y'all team in order. That's why y'all show it on the court. But we don't have that. So you got to get rid of the dead weight and bring in some new voices. And then after you do that, then you can worry about, okay, bringing in the players that you need.
Hey,
primarily,
BJ,
what?
They said Mike Malone got fired because he didn't get along with Calvin Booth, the former GM of the Nuggets. They said he didn't get along with him, and he didn't play the young dude named Pickens.
Yeah.
But Pickens not even good.
Yeah, that's part
That
of
didn't
it.
make no sense at all. So they was like, okay, we're gonna get 2 birds with 1 stone. But it's like, yeah, bro, you got rid of a top 5 coach. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, but they look at them now. They playing. Look how they playing. They got rid of Mike Malone because if he didn't hit Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic were out on him. They tuned him out, and Aaron Gordon. That's why they got rid of Mike Malone.
So you think that do you think they talked to Jokic and Jamal before they made the decision, or they just made the decision without them knowing?
No, they made it without
they
him
already
knowing.
knew. Jokic said they had a conversation, BJ. He said him and the GM kind of had a conversation, you know what I'm saying? And he already kind of knew what was going on, but they just needed a new voice in the locker room. That's what Jokic said, according to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jokic didn't go to the GM or the owner and say fire him, but the owner was already feeling the tension and knowing how to win a championship. You can't have that when you want to win a championship. So they did what they did, brought Adelman, let him coach, and now they're going to the second round. So they actually made the right decision because if Malone was still there, I just think Murray and them weren't feeling him. So
from what the GM said, he said Mike Malone was already and Calvin Booth, they was already getting fired. at the end of the season, they just did it at that time and place. You know what I'm saying? That's what they felt they needed. They needed to do. You feel me?
That's why
But
I think Denver can beat OKC because I really believe I don't think I know Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Now that they got Russell Westbrook there, I think that brings because if I'm gonna be honest with you, if Russell ain't on that team, they weren't gonna beat the Clippers because
nah,
Denver
we
don't
weren't
have
gonna be.
Denver doesn't have they're kind of lethargic too. They're kind of like our stars. They're really like laid back. Jamal's laid back. Nikola Jokic, yeah, he gets a little bit of a edge to him, but Russ is more so he picks everybody up when they're having a bad game. So you're basically having a guy of that caliber doing that. They needed every bit of that. So Denver feel like they can win and go to the finals. They feel like they can beat OKC.
Yes, we is. We can beat them. And if you think the Nuggets cannot be OKC because they just this top team, you crazy. And I'm an OKC fan at heart. You feel me? But it's gonna be a bad matchup. It's the matchup of the MVPs, man. It's gonna be.
BJ,
What's up?
I ain't gonna lie. If you look at like Minnesota, like they could easily get to the finals, bro. If you look at it, bro.
I don't know if it's easy. They still gotta play.
No. I'm saying they definitely gonna give the Warriors probably. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, BJ, I just think y'all need a clean house, man. I think y'all need a clean house, man, and kind of start from the ground up. That's a good question, though. I do think you need to make a decision if y'all gonna retool or if y'all gonna stay with Kawhi and James. But I think y'all gotta stay with Kawhi right now because y'all don't got a draft pick to. I didn't even know that. God damn. What the hell? That's 4 more years, BJ. That's 4 more years. Y'all gotta wait for a draft pick. Like y'all do gotta make a decision. Y'all gotta put better pieces around Kawhi, man, for real. Cause the window is kind of closing. You feel me? He only got a small window.
Mm-hmm. Yup. But
Tyronn Lue gotta go, man.
Yeah, he gotta go. Somebody said if anyone starts an online petition to release Ty Lue, Lawrence Frank, and James Harden from their Clippers duties, I will sign immediately. Y'all can do that. Yeah, that's definitely that actually might be very powerful because one thing about Ballmer listens to the fans. Like if enough fans get to a point where they want to get rid of Ty Lue and want to get rid of Lawrence Frank, Ballmer will listen. Because if ticket sales drop, bro, that's gonna get Ballmer his attendance up. He's like, oh.
Hey BJ, did you see Steve Ballmer's face when Russ was telling y'all to get the go the fuck on? You see Steve Ballmer's face, bro? He was mad as hell,
Yeah,
bro. Like he was looking at Russ like how the fuck did Lawrence? Yeah, there you go right there. There you go right there. Like look at Steve Ballmer's face. Russ is rocking the baby on him. You know what I'm saying? On Bogey, like he rocking a baby on that little boy. And Steve Ballmer looking like, how the fuck did Lawrence Frank let this guy go?
Lawrence Frank, say it again. There you go, Monty.
I'm just saying that's what the pictures show. Like when you look at the picture of Steve Ballmer, he's looking at Russ. Look at Steve Ballmer. He's looking at Russ. You could tell by his face. Look at Steve Ballmer's face. He looking at Russ like this guy was just on my team last year. He was just on my team last year. Lawrence Frank decided to let this man go, and we end up seeing this man in the first round, and he stole 2 games for the Nuggets. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, Steve Ballmer, he mad as shit, and he should have fired Lawrence Frank. That's the next morning. He should have fired Tyronn Lue the next morning, bro. I swear that's what he should have. When he flew them 120 people home, all them mad as shit, going in the house, getting off the flight. They all talking, they all politicking like, how the fuck I spend this much money? We done lost in Denver, now we gotta
It
go
is
back
sad,
home.
man.
What? I would have fired their ass after the post game interview. Tyronn Lue, you're done. This is your last day. Give me your shirt. Give me
Right,
everything
hear
you
me?
ever wore. Yeah, I can hear you, bro. I'm just saying. Look at the picture, bro. That picture is crazy. Look at Steve
BJ, so
Ballmer's
you
face.
wasn't one of those people that want to rust off the team?
Hell no.
No, BJ was not.
Monty wasn't. BJ wasn't even.
Nigga.
BJ and
See the
Taz.
tweets, I
BJ
wanted
and
Russ.
Taz. They
Bro,
wasn't
No,
the
go ahead,
haters.
bro, I
Let
was
BJ
the
go.
bro. Did you forget? I was the only one that run at this nigga on the team. Nobody wanted
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook but me.
Right.
No, BJ,
That's facts.
BJ,
That's facts.
you was the first one that said we need somebody like Russ, because I remember when he got traded to Utah when he didn't get bought out. Y'all, you listed. I mean, he listed y'all as one of his teams. It was down to you guys in Miami, and you even got on Showtime about it or whatever. Like they always just jumping on the bandwagons. Oh, hey, Russ, bashing on Russ, but then they was like, okay, never mind. Russ wasn't really the problem. It was the team he was on.
Right.
And
He
whenever
never the
people doing things
problem,
with
bro.
LeBron James, they don't have the same
Yeah,
impact they did on other teams. And of course, he's
I
gonna get
like Russ.
scapegoated.
Yeah,
But no, BJ, you was
Russ
a
is
like
a
hell of
Hall of
Russ.
Fame. Russ is a Hall of Fame impact player, man. Like regardless of what anybody says about his career, even if he don't win a chip with the Nuggets, like he should forever be remembered in basketball history, just for the sole part of I don't think I've seen somebody love the game of basketball more than Russell Westbrook does. I don't think I've seen, besides a Kobe or Jordan, somebody that wants to win more than I see Westbrook does.
Thank you,
He
Thank you.
he has his shortcomings, of course, but when I want to go into war, that is the motherfucker I'm going to grab, bro. Like I don't care
That's why
about
that's my
nobody.
favorite point guard. Hey, BJ,
Yeah.
what Kobe say about Russ? What Kobe say? Come on, man. Stop
Man,
He's a
playing, man.
competitor.
and that solidified it, bro. Anytime Kobe like you a solidified dude. So it's just the will, bro. You can't replace the will he plays with, man.
Right.
Like you just can't replace that. I don't care if you and people don't give Russ enough credit, bro. He ain't as dumb as people try to make. He's actually a real smart. He may do like crash out stuff, may turn the ball over, miss it. But do you understand like how he plays defense? Like you saw that anticipation where he stole the ball and Harden threw that outlet in Game 7. He came out of nowhere. You see that offensive rebound, like the timing of it when he got the rebound. How
BJ from the free throw line. From the free throw line,
bro.
And James Harden, he playing lazy. You playing lazy. Why you boxing out lazy, bro? Like, come on, bro.
I mean, and when you have a coach like really can teach him something, like bro, he ain't never really had a coach. To be real with you, if you look at his career, Russ ain't really had a coach to really actually teach him. OKC, he didn't have no real. I mean, Billy Donovan and Scott Brooks.
Scott Brooks. Yeah, we had Scott Brooks. He wasn't really a good coach to me. I ain't think Scott Brooks was a good coach, bro.
And who you had in Houston? D'Antoni. I mean, he just run the flow full for offense.
D'Antoni.
He traded he traded Capella for Covington. That was dumb as fuck.
So now that you got a system.
Hey BJ, who was the coach was Scott Brooks the coach in Washington too?
Yeah.
Who was the coach Scott Brooks the coach again?
Yeah.
Damn, see what I'm saying? Yeah.
And you had Ty Lue with the
and then Darvin, and then you had fucking Darvin, or what was it Darvin? Was it Darvin?
Yep, Darvin.
I think he was there. He was there with Vogel. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Russ
you had
played 2.5 seasons and got traded.
And then you had and now you got a real system in Denver that actually won a title, bro. Like all them coaches that he had, bro, ain't never won no title.
Right.
Only person that won the title is the person he's playing for right now. Malone and this Adelman dude. So now you don't see all them crazy ass turnovers you once, say like he might have a turnover here and there, but his efficiency done went up. He's making winning plays. He's coming into the clutch, bro. Like,
man, that's why that's my favorite player, man. That just come with Russell Westbrook, like if y'all seen his Game 7 interview, you feel me? He said that. He said, you know, when you get Russ, he said I tend to fuck shit up. That's what I guess that's what Lawrence Frank and Tyronn Lue and them people say. That's what a lot of people say, right? He fucks shit up. So he said, "What come with Russ? It might be a turnover. It might be a missed three. It might be a make three. It might be a missed free throw. It might be a make free throw. You know what I'm saying? It might be a rebound. It might be an assist. But you know what I'm saying? We gonna roll with the punches, man. I've been rolling with him his whole career. So you know, it's just. I'm glad to see that he responds to all the hate and the slander that everybody was giving him this year and last year. So it's just good to see, man. He on the team that want him. You know what I'm saying? He on the team that love the way he play. And a lot of people don't know, and you ain't look at the Christian Brown interview, you know what I'm saying? I think we won the series because of Russ, man. Like, you feel me? He learned how to play defense on James Harden because of Russ. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he called out our sets. So it's a lot that played into that series.
So that's how you know he has a good IQ, because how are you gonna remember sets and plays that you played the year before?
Y'all ain't even know that, Taz. He's calling out the sets that y'all running. You feel me? Bron, the white boy, he said that. He said Russ, he knew for the series, he knew half of y'all sets. He knew half of the sets that the Clippers was running. He told me how to check James Harden. On a step back three, he made it on me. But the next time, Russ, he told me in practice, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere throughout the series. Like, you feel me? So Russ was a big part of the series and a part of why the Clippers lost. I want y'all to really understand that. So that has something to do with Lawrence Frank, man, and Tyronn Lue. So they need to go. For real.
Yeah, man. Well, fellas, it's been real. Monty, I'm about to text you in a minute.
Say no more.
BJ,
hey, love y'all.
BJ hit me too. Shit.
Well,
I'm gonna text you.
yeah.
I'm gonna text y'all, man.
Salute, BJ. Salute y'all, man.
Text my number because I already got T Sweezy number. BJ about to text me. Text my number.
Shit, I thought I already did, man.
Oh, I bet if you already did, you good.
I bet.
Bet.
Hey, Taz, tap in.
All right, for sure, bro. For sure. Love, man. Y'all take it easy, man.
I'm gonna
y'all
be
take it easy. Yo, we'll talk to y'all later, man.